you are being tokenized as we speak.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, April 4th, 2021. This is your award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1335.
This is No Agenda.
Crisper than ever, and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where we're doing a shout-out to Easter and Jalen Suggs. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Okay, who's Jalen Suggs?
You heard it here. Jalen Suggs. He said, who is Jalen Suggs? Jalen Suggs.
That's a funny joke just by itself.
Yeah.
Okay, Jalen Suggs.
Okay, he's the guy who won the Final Four game between Gonzaga and UCLA.
Uh-huh.
And he did it with a shot with 0 seconds left from about 40 feet away.
Uh-huh.
Just some long bomb.
That definite three-pointer.
It was a definite three-pointer.
Yeah.
And you got that part.
Yeah.
So it was a definite three-pointer. But the thing was that I'm just going to put this because I know that we have at least 20 or 30% basketball fans because it's just American thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That Gonzaga team, except for this Jalen Suggs guy, which could take them all the way to the finals and win. They're going to the finals, but they could win the finals because of him. He's so good. They were choking the game. None of the commentators would say it. They were undefeated all year. They were choking the game. They were missing their threes. They were missing layups. They were disheveled. They were choking the game. They should have lost the game. UCLA should have never scored 90 points.
And what was the final score?
93-90.
Oh, wow. So the three-pointer
which is a high-scoring college game because they only play like 5 minutes total, I think.
COVID? It's a COVID game? What's the deal?
It's a COVID game.
COVID game? You got to shorten that up, because it likes to roam around men at night.
Yeah. Well, so the game is usually over before 10.
So that's good. Well, congratulations, UCLA. Where does this get them now?
No. UCLA lost.
I'm just trying to show my sports prowess by... So who won?
Lost the connection.
Huh?
It's funny, we lost the connection. No, UCLA lost.
Okay, who won?
Gonzaga.
And where are they from?
Little school in Spokane, small Catholic school in Spokane.
Right. No, I don't know any. Look, I do have some basketball news, and I'm moving it right now to the front since you've opened up the sports ball portion of the No Agenda show. This is an important report because while we're gone, this is our last show for an entire week.
A whole week.
A whole week.
2 whole shows we're going to take off.
First time ever we've done that. But after 15 months...
I'm not sure that's true.
I don't think we've ever taken 2 shows in a row off. I do not believe that's true.
Well, I can check. But anyway, whatever, it's a big deal.
So anyway, let me just tell everybody what's going to happen in the week that we're gone, and that's what this first basketball-related clip is about. The United States will be shoveled under a skyscraper pile of horse manure, which will be racist. We've got the Derek Chauvin trial. And, of course, we have the incredible racist state of Georgia.
This morning, the MLB playing hardball with Georgia, pulling the All-Star game out of the state in protest. The decision taken a week after Governor Brian Kemp signed a controversial voting bill. MLB Commissioner Robert Manfred Jr. saying in a statement that the league, quote, supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. Fair access to voting continues to have our game's unwavering support. Georgia's governor blasting the decision, labeling it a knee-jerk reaction.
As Major League Baseball has caved to the cancel culture, now that they're coming after your baseball game, they're going to come after your business, they're going to come after your way of life. But I will tell you, I'm not backing down.
This moment has actually called for business leaders to take an unequivocal stance on any legislation that could be discriminatory.
Critics call it a means to suppress historically disenfranchised voters in urban and suburban counties, while proponents argue that it makes the state's elections more secure by, for example, adding new ID requirements for absentee ballots. Prior to the league's announcement, the president said he'd support the move.
I think today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly. I would strongly support them doing that. People look to them. They're leaders.
The boycott kneecapping businesses and people trying to climb their way out of the pandemic. The Atlanta Braves saying they're, quote, deeply disappointed. And Stacey Abrams, who is credited with getting more Georgians to vote, says, quote, I don't want to see Georgia families hurt by lost events and jobs, but says she commends the league for speaking out.
You know,
okay, wait, I got the PBS version of that. Let's play that.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
And that is COVID. Whoops, I'm sorry. It's not a COVID thing. It is, I just had it in my...
Georgia voting law.
Georgia voting law, PBS.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, here we go.
Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp defended his state's new voting law today after Major League Baseball's announcement yesterday that this year's All-Star Game would be moved out of the state. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred said in a statement yesterday that, quote, the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport is by relocating this year's All-Star Game and MLB draft, and that the league fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. Kemp said the bill is being mischaracterized, and today he claimed it, quote, expanded voting with more in-person voting days added on weekends.
Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, and Delta may be scared of Stacey Abrams, Joe Biden, and the left, but I am not, and we are not as well.
Georgia's Republican majority state legislature voted to overhaul the state's election law last week. Critics argue the new law is an attempt to suppress Democratic votes by imposing restrictions on mail-in ballots, adding identification requirements, and adding more state control over how elections are run. Major corporations based in Georgia, including Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines, called the new law, quote, unacceptable, but took no actions.
How many times do you it seems indefinite, can they spin up this machine? Just complete horse crap. It's really about having to prove who you are when you go to vote, or when you do it by abstention or by mail-in ballot.
The big deal here is you have to sign that ballot, the absentee ballot, and prove that to get one in the first place. Yes. You have to sign it.
Yeah, the way it should be. But this is, but again, and this is Stacey Abrams. She's evil, and she ratchets this all up. And then, without really going into any detail, because every report is just, oh, well, you know, they're trying to make it tougher for minorities, and it's, wow, crazy, they're asking for ID, for ballots. It's just racist. Everything's racist.
A couple of things I noticed about this. First of all, it's going to cost the city of Atlanta tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, a lot of money.
All the sports shows, all of them, with no exceptions. I watched all these guys, I watched these characters, and they're all in on this. Oh, this is great. It's about time.
But of course, they're not going to piss off Coca-Cola and Delta. There's the wedge. What are they going to do? Coca-Cola and Delta. I'm sure they advertise on MLB. And NBA, whatever.
The best argument actually was, of all people, was David Brooks, who very sheepishly, I don't have the clip, very sheepishly on the PBS NewsHour said that the problem we have here is he doesn't like this because if you're going to go that way, especially with the corporations coming out and saying we want you to do this, and we want the legislator to do this, and we want the legislator to do that. You're in China.
Yeah.
You're in China, Coca-Cola. What are you doing about the Uyghurs being massacred?
Mm-hmm. He said that?
When are you going to take a stand on that, Coca-Cola? When are you going to take a stand on China?
Did Brooks say that?
Yeah, pretty much.
What, in his column or something? He didn't say it out loud?
No, it was on the air.
Oh.
But it wasn't with the loud tones I'm delivering.
Okay.
It's a little more, these Chinese have got an issue that they're going to have to speak up if they're going to speak up at all. So China hasn't spoken up about the Uyghurs, haven't pulled out of China, but yet they make a fuss about Major League Baseball, they make a fuss about Georgia tightening up their voter laws because they were all screwed up and they needed fixing?
Yeah, I don't think any corporation should ever be involved in an issue surrounding voting. Not like that. This is collusion between the commercial sector and the government.
And the Democrats.
Oh, yeah. And from what I understand, this passed quite well in the Georgia House. It was not like
they're all surprised by Major League Baseball pulling this.
Yeah, so, I think there was 25% of the opposition. It's almost like
Major League Baseball. They had a meeting.
Yeah.
Hey, these NBA guys are getting a lot of attention by putting all these, vote on their back and Black Lives Matter and doing all this stuff. I think they're just helping them there, and the black community is really liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what can we do? I have an idea. Let's move what's going to Georgia just passed a new law. Well, let's just butt into the lawmakers' purview and make a fuss. Maybe that'll get us some attention.
I really don't understand why they feel they need to do this. Well,
why can't we just take a knee, man?
But it's all connected. It really is, because they're doing the Chauvin trial that's nonstop, and man, is that there's something.
Have you been watching it?
A little bit. It's just
I have been watching. I got a report if you want one. I don't have any clips.
Yeah,
no, I can tell you this.
Give us a report for sure.
This thing could go
for a long time.
South fast because the prosecution put on all these kind of heartbreaking witnesses who was standing around watching this, and they all felt that they saw a murder,
right?
And they were very adamant about it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a number of little gotchas. This is one of those cases that's going to turn on a gotcha. This guy said that the coroner had made some comments about something. They have all these little memos and notes about this guy before, and they have the clips of him. Well, he was in the store trying to pass the fake 100, and this could turn on a technicality. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I think this cop was a jerk off and he should probably go to jail, but this could turn on a technicality, and it's going to result in burning down Minnesota.
No, that is the plan, John. This is the whole thing. It was bogus from the start, and I'm not gonna hedge it. I don't know if that cop was a douchebag. That's pretty standard procedure as they were taught, and it depends on. No, let me finish. It just depends on which coroner report you believe, but for sure. 2 days after that happened, we identified, oh crap! Now what's it called again? The delirium, excited delirium. That's what was going on. Immediately, it has to be fentanyl. The guy's probably already dying. All of that was taking. Now it doesn't matter because what people saw was what was put in their head. I mean, this is always going to be the history of it. Always. But you're right. It'll be a technicality. It's set up to be that way. We've already got the tension. We're ratcheting up the tension of racist Georgia. Just throw all of that. It's all about black, racist, white man, horror. Here, listen to this. Listen to this. These are your news. Well, the first one isn't, but these are your news hosts. Pay attention, John. This is a message to you and me.
The only thing etched in my mind are two things. Why were they arresting me? Why were they doing that? And the photo of 6 all-white men under a photo of a plantation.
There's the Republican governor, Brian Kemp, and 6 other white men.
I want to put up that picture of Governor Brian Kemp signing this law in a room full of white men.
Governor Kemp signed the bill in private, surrounded by 6 white men.
The irony of a gaggle of white women to be sitting there saying that. That's unbelievable. You have no shame.
That's a good one.
And I'm not so sure Rachel's a woman. Just now that we're just being assholes to each other. What the hell?
Why not? She got an Adam's apple.
Suspicious. No, it's like, come on, people. That is now the problem with this.
The media. Well, let's back up.
Of course, it's the media.
Back up the truck.
Of course, it's the media.
It's the media. What are they up to?
Yeah, they want burning buildings. They need some ratings. This is what they do. They have nothing else. We sure as heck don't want to be talking about vaccines and vaccine passports, not too much, because that's a problem. People are like getting, baseball is back. Woo! Racist! Of course. Now, are there no games for other leagues being played in Georgia, such as the NBA?
NBA has a team. Yeah.
Well, how do they? Can they just also refuse to play?
They could, but they're not going to. This is just a showboating thing by the MLB.
You know, I think
this whole thing it's just ridiculous. And but the way it was played, if you listen to these commentators, oh, this is so great. Oh, yes. Oh, and it's great that Coca-Cola, which of course Coca-Cola they won't look at China. If you're going to pull this stunt, this political crap, MLB also has action in China. I mean, why don't you do something about your footprint in China?
I'm not so convinced that they may not even be taking orders from China.
Well, I'm not going to make that argument.
I'm going to, and
they are or aren't, but you could be right.
I'm going to give you some backing to that when it comes to the vaccine. And I'll just say it. Thanks, China. The whole idea is we get this vaccine and then whatever else comes after that. So how powerful are the forces? Let's check out LeBron James.
And as the face of the NBA, LeBron James is usually an open book on most subjects, but he has made it clear he plans to keep his decision private over whether he will get the COVID-19 vaccine. During All-Star Weekend, he told reporters, quote, "That's a conversation that my family and I will have. Pretty much keep that to a private thing."
Now, since he's not coming out and telling his black brothers and sisters they should go get vaccinated, yeah, he could be out 3 to 5 games for a sprained ankle. Okay. They control him. They control all these guys. And of course they control the sportscasters. That's why they're all in. Yeah, you don't have to believe all of them, but they have to do it. Well, it's the machine.
It's a terrible machine, but it is a machine, and we have to realize it's a machine. It's a machine, a machine, a machine. Well, we're on. You brought up passports?
Yeah, I got a lot on the passports. Let's launch into it.
I have two. I have two flips on the passports.
Go for it.
First, we'll go with passport, COVID passport. This is the PBS report.
In Florida, an order banning the use of so-called COVID-19 vaccination passports is in effect today. Governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order late yesterday that prohibits businesses from requiring customers to show proof of vaccination and barring state agencies from issuing vaccination documents. The order cites privacy concerns and states that requiring proof of vaccination will, quote, reduce individual freedom. The issue of requiring vaccine documents is an emerging controversy as private companies work on creating digital verification and some countries roll out the so-called COVID passports. The Biden administration has said the federal government will not require proof of vaccination. Yesterday, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported close to 102 million people, nearly 1/3 of the total U.S. population, have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah.
That's just that was a fairly neutral report on their part, but
I would say too neutral, but yeah.
Well, it wasn't a great report, but it wasn't as frightening to listen to. Going back to David Brooks on last Friday, they had him and his buddy Capehart on, and they were doing their back and forth, which is useless since they both agree with each other on everything. And this report, this is supposedly from, I don't care whether this guy's a liberal, like an old-fashioned liberal that we might want to argue, the old classic liberal bullcrap, or a conservative supposed to be representing Republicans, and he comes out and says this.
Yeah, I think we need to make life a lot better for people who've had the vaccine. I think we need vaccine passports so they can go to gyms and restaurants. And I say that as one who's too young to have the vaccine, which the last time I've been too young for anything. But, we've got to induce the people who are vaccine hesitant to say, wow, it's really great on the other side of the vaccine. And one way to do that is to have these vaccine passports so people can go and enjoy life. The research has now, as far as I understand it, become pretty clear. You do not get the disease, at least your chances are fantastic, and you do not spread the disease. So if that's the case, then I say to all of you with the shots, party on.
Yeah, well, you think that's scary. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what's going on here. Because, and I like that buildup. Report one, kind of neutral, passport. Although, they could have at least acted a little surprised about passport. Okay, well, our news team is looking into that. No, none of that. Now, what you're surprised by here is him saying, we need to reward people with more access to more stuff. And it's always interesting to me how we can play a clip on the show 4 weeks ago, and people respond to it and email me about it. They don't hear about it, and then it comes back. It somehow goes viral from some other place, and then everyone's sending it to me as if they've never seen it before. So I'm going to play Dr. Leanna Wen again, as she took us through a very important transitory phase in what I think is going on.
My main concern is that we're not going to reach herd immunity because of vaccine hesitancy. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe who desperately want the vaccine right now. And they're thinking, well, it's just a small percentage of people who are actually anti-vaxxers. And that's true. There is the anti-science, anti-vaxxer contingent. But I think that there are many more people, millions of people who, for whatever reason, have concerns about the vaccine, who just don't know what's in it for them. And we need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway. And I fear a situation of coming into the fall where we never reach herd immunity. And then we get hit by the next surge of COVID-19 in the fall, something that we could have prevented if we just got people vaccinated now.
So this happened 4 weeks ago when she said this, when we played it.
Now, who is this again?
Dr. Leanna Wen. She's a CNN.
She's a fast talker.
Yeah, she's a CNN medical correspondent. Yeah, well, fine. Okay. This is about compliance, and I'm kind of feeling I'm retracting a little bit about the vaccine itself. I have new information on how it works and what it does, which it will be probably interesting to listen to, especially for a Sunday show. But they're not trying. I don't think there's any trying to kill us necessarily. It's very reckless what's being done. But the final point is compliance, and that's what you're starting to hear here. That I don't know. She may be a former CDC or something in some administration, but now she works for CNN, and she's kind of taking us through this idea of it's just a bunch of a couple of stupid anti-vaxxers, probably some Trumpers and MAGA people. But really, this hesitancy has to go away. We need a carrot to get people to take the vaccine. But that's really not it. The vaccine is the carrot for the end goal. Here's the compliance we've lived through in the last year. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We extended the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We restricted closed, shuttered businesses. We told people who were essential and who weren't, and whose actual livelihood was essential and whose wasn't. Strangely, livelihood of podcasters under the media clause deemed essential. Then we had contact tracing and taking your temperature everywhere. And then the mask, no mask, mask, double mask, triple mask, comply, obey, social distancing, testing. We're going to get you jabs now. Woo! And then we have the passport. And I am now convinced more than ever this is what the end goal is a paper or digital, but the whole idea is an app, and it's integrated, and there's a fight on right now. There's a fight for who is going to control you, because once you have your health information, we already have your banking information, all of that's on your phone, all of that's in the apps. It's going to be Microsoft, it's going to be Apple, it's going to be Amazon, it's Google. They're all fighting to own you. Once they have that, oh man, they track everything about you. And legal location tracking, proximity tracking, all of this has been set up for it. And now we have Dr. Kavita Patel. She was with the Obama administration, and she's now out talking to everybody, and it's very clear how they're positioning this. You in the United States, fill in your own country, we're free men and women. We have freedoms. We have complied and been obedient, and now listen to how these jackasses are talking to us.
CDC today said vaccinated Americans can travel, but at the same time said we don't recommend it. That can be rather confusing. Is there a medical reason why vaccinated people should not travel?
Yeah, Shep, good to be with you. And I think it has to do with the fact that we still have people traveling from and to places where we're seeing double-digit increases in cases. And even if you're vaccinated, you don't know who around you might be or might not be high risk. And therefore, that is a scenario set up, especially with these variants, where people can get sick and unfortunately end up in a hospital. And we're seeing younger people, Shep, in the hospitals, which is disturbing, but makes sense when you think about older people being vaccinated and younger people still waiting to get their turn. So that's essentially why. But I do think the CDC overall, it's great news, as you point out.
Sorry?
This is called illogic.
Of course, the first illogical part is you need to know if someone hasn't been vaccinated and you have, because they could infect you.
That's what the illogic is.
Yeah.
The whole thing's illogical.
Yeah.
And it's mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
They should.
No.
I don't want to go into what they should do to people like this.
No, because we'll be deplatformed from Apple.
But makes sense when you think about older people being vaccinated and younger people still waiting to get their turn. So that's essentially why. But I do think the CDC overall, it's great news, as you point out. It reinforces that once America is fully vaccinated, we are going to be able to safely resume more normal activities. And I think that'll happen by the summer.
Okay, that's the setup. And how are we going to ensure all this is going to happen?
Yep, but TSA numbers show we're traveling already. There's no method to check whether someone has been vaccinated. Do you believe vaccine passports are necessary?
I think we're going to so in short, yes. I think that how we get passports, and hopefully we can have some agreement that makes them easy, comprehensible in different languages, and is a very zero barrier, Shep. And I believe in our private sector, combined with public partners, we can do that. We need to have ways that people can demonstrate proof of vaccination. And we also need to remember at the same time, we need to make it very easy for people to get vaccinated. That's going to be easy with supply. And at the same time, Shep, I just want to reinforce that the tricky part around a requirement is that these are emergency authorizations. Pfizer, with their pivotal data, will probably get to a full approval soon, but an emergency authorization is not necessarily full approval. So we'll definitely need proof of vaccination, but this time period is going to be a transition where vaccinations are the ticket to freedom, but that ticket is not the easiest one to get right now.
Ticket to freedom.
Hold on a second. I just came up with it. There's a very simple solution to all this. You don't need a passport. You don't need any of these things. You have, when the people go get the vaccination, you take their forearm and you tattoo a number right there on that fleshy part of the under of the forearm.
Yeah.
You just tattoo a number, which would be their vaccination number, and then they're good to go.
Yeah.
Just have to show the tattoo.
Yeah, you're not so original, but
what?
You're Nazi original, but otherwise, yes. Yeah, that's very triggering for a lot of the older folk who may be listening. Now, let's just quickly listen.
I don't think it's triggering to anybody. But
let's listen quickly to how the more that was CNBC with Shep the Shill. Here's ABC.
And hold on a second. I'm going to stop right here.
I got stuff to do.
You didn't get that clip yourself. Somebody sent. Nobody on this podcast listens to Shep.
Yeah, I do know that I actually got that clip myself. Yes.
Can I
ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Why do you always say that to me? That's a great clip. You didn't get it yourself. What is wrong with you? Happy Easter.
I only did that. That's the second time I've done that.
Oh, okay.
But in this case, it was very obvious to me because
who cares
that you listen to Shep?
Yes, I watch Shep. I watch MSNBC all day.
All right. Continue on. Yeah. Continue forward, my friend.
Just rude.
And a nursing home company in Ohio is one of the first in the country to make the vaccine mandatory for its employees. Thousands of employees now have until June 1st to get the shot.
And this is not unique. I have at least 3 emails from producers whose jobs are now not even giving them an option, just saying you have to be fully vaccinated. Not even, hey, if you want to talk about it. No. In order to come back, and it'll probably be by August 1st is what most of them have, everyone will have to be fully vaccinated to operate in that business.
Now with word that more than 100 million Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine, the CDC issuing new guidance saying fully vaccinated Americans can travel at low risk to themselves while wearing masks and social distancing. If flying domestically, the CDC says you do not need to get tested before or after travel or self-quarantine. But if flying internationally, your destination may require a test, and you still need to show a negative test before boarding a flight back to America. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky still advocating against non-essential travel.
While we believe that fully vaccinated people can travel at low risk to themselves, CDC is not recommending travel at this time due to the rising number of cases.
Again, makes no sense. You're vaccinated, you can travel, but really shouldn't because there's more cases. So let's dive into the end game. The anti-constitutionalist CNN douche Fareed Zakaria brought on a medical ethicist to talk about the ethics of forcing people to have a passport to prove they have been vaccinated. I'm not even sure they're talking about having antibodies, which should be the same thing. It should be an antibody passport if you're going to do anything, but no.
May we see your papers? I don't think I have them on me. In that case, we'll have to ask you to come along.
From Casablanca to today, a demand to produce personal documents can be uncomfortable. But post-pandemic, it's something we'll all likely to have to get more and more comfortable with. We could be asked to show proof we've had the shots in order to get on an airplane, go to a concert, or go back to work. Joining me now is medical ethicist Arthur Kaplan, a professor at NYU. So explain why you think, basically, that this is the future and we should be comfortable with it.
Well, I'm sure that the future holds vaccine passports for us, partly to protect against the spread of COVID and it rebounding. There are many countries, as you were discussing earlier, that have low rates of COVID. Australia, India, Nigeria. Some countries improving fast. Great Britain, the U.S., other countries lagging and trying to do lockdowns. As vaccines become available, the best way to control the spread, the best way to control new outbreaks and perhaps even new variants is to demand proof of vaccination before entry. And it's not a new idea. We have it for yellow fever. There are about more than a dozen countries that say you can't come in if you haven't been vaccinated against yellow fever, and many others require you to show proof of vaccination if you transit through those countries.
Red Book, November 12th, 2020. You will need a passport to prove you've been vaccinated to enter venues such as Ticketmaster. Pretty sure I called that one. It's going to happen unless we resist it.
It hasn't happened, so you can't bring out the Red Book.
It's already happened in New York. What are you talking about? New York already had it for Madison Square Garden, all their events.
You contradicted yourself with your own prediction the other day when you said once they shut down the computers that check on this stuff, okay, you can all come in, which is really what's going to happen.
Well, hold on a second.
I'm not going to. We've argued this before. I don't want to start now, but listening to these guys, these douchebags, is just the yellow fever thing, which is a card. It's not a passport by any means. Is a minor. It's just an inconvenience, and it's only an inconvenience in some parts of South America. And maybe elsewhere. But
it's also a vaccine that's been proven and has been around for a long time.
Yeah, and it's not under emergency use, and they're not forcing it on you.
Right.
Now, can I read this report? This is from Rain, who sent it. One of our producers sent a boots on the ground report from the trip from SFO to Jakarta.
Sure.
To give us an idea of the real downside to all this, which is kind of on your side of the argument. My trip was from SFO to Jakarta, then a 5-night forced quarantine in an approved hotel by a government before going to Bali. Trying to go to Bali. And by the way, we should reiterate to everyone, the idea that if you get a vaccine, you still shouldn't travel is ludicrous. Forced quarantine before going to Bali. For starters, there was no social distancing on the plane, and the flight attendant was wearing full-on protective gear like he was ready for surgery. Photo included. Indonesia is requiring the beginnings of a freedom passport.
My favorite kind. Freedom passport is better than COVID passport. Freedom passport really tells you what they mean.
The freedom passport moniker is dynamite. They're requiring an app called an e-hack where you put health information in, such as if you're having COVID symptoms or being exposed, etc. Then this app generates a QR code, which is to be scanned on arrival to enter the country. I had to have a negative PCR test on arrival as well. The military stops you as you exit the airport to make sure someone from your quarantine hotel picks you up. I was shuttled to my room, and during my 5-night stay had to take 2 PCR tests. In order to leave the hotel to fly to Bali, I was issued a certificate by the Indonesian Ministry of Health. Without this, I couldn't fly to my final destination. Upon arriving in Bali, things were relaxed until I discovered the worst thing ever. The Indonesian government has elected the island of Bali to be part of their country's reopening to tourism plan. They call it green zones.
Green passport in Israel, green passport in Europe, green zone. Mm-hmm.
They call it green zones. These green zones are towns in Bali where the locals will be vaccinated. Ubud, where I am, it's just a little town, has been chosen to be a green zone, which means all the local Balinese have to be vaccinated, all caps. There were mass vaccinations all weeks in each of the villages. Of course, not social distancing because they're all standing in a line. The government is jabbing with the Chinese vaccine Sinovac. And he mentions the name Sinovac.
That's the one. Isn't that the one that has the that they claim has the attenuated virus? Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, there's 2 Chinese vaccines with it. I talk with many of the local people here, and they say they don't have a choice because if they don't get the vaccine, they can't have a job, and tourism won't start up again, and they'll have struggled so much this last year. Bali's main economic support is tourism. My local friend had to close her business for a week because her whole staff got vaccinated and got fevers, convulsions, and swollen arms. Another local said her friends got the her son got the vaccine and had 3 days of temporary paralysis on the right side of his body. Let's keep our eye on Ubud as it is now added to the list of global Petri dishes. Over and over across the ocean where forced vaccination is commonplace and freedom passes are a requirement. Heading back to the States in 2 days. Wish me luck.
Yeah. And that's just one country. Just look at Israel. It's all you need to see. Pfizer did the deal. No one can go anywhere without a green passport or the freedom bracelet, which means you still have to stay home next to the sticker on the wall. And so talking about those apps, and I did not contradict myself. I said that would be a way to stop it. I want to stop this from happening. I want people to reject this notion, reject these freedom passports. And I'm going to go back to the interview with our medical ethicist. What are the privacy implications of this? Because that's what it comes down to. This is what they want.
Traditionally, we want to protect health information because if someone finds out you have an illness or a disease, they may discriminate against you. They may penalize you. They may say you can't get a job, you can't get insurance, you can't get disability insurance, you can't get life insurance. With a COVID certification, you're going to gain freedom, you're going to gain mobility, and I'm going to suggest that you're probably going to be able to get certain jobs. If you want to work on a cruise ship, I can't imagine that they're not going to be advertising that everybody who's on the staff and the crew is vaccinated, so come on back. So the difference, if you will, is it often is the case that health information, when released, threatens to harm you. In this case, being vaccinated threatens to benefit you. It goes in the other direction.
These people are insane. Do you hear the things? This is a medical ethicist. yeah, you'll probably be able to get certain jobs you couldn't get. And, if you really want to, have the freedom to move about, there's just no other way. And so we have to know who you are, where you are. And prediction, here's one for you. Yes, it's a mess right now. And maybe they won't do it. Maybe they won't get it implemented this time. They're going to try it again. And, and I would say the whole notion of NFTs is going to help everybody understand how your vaccination proof is on a blockchain, and it's going to be shared by all these a-holes. So you are being tokenized as we speak. And is it going to be fair, equitable, and will there be equality for all, Mr. Health Ethicist?
Well, remember, vaccine passports or even vaccine requirements do depend on access. It's hard to impose anything unless you are pretty sure that somebody can get a vaccine. So I think it'll be a little while before we see this, let's say, within the U.S. But there are going to be communities and areas of the country where it starts to make sense due to high availability of vaccine to say, you want to come back to work in person, got to show me a vaccine certificate. You want to go in a bar, a restaurant, got to show me a vaccine certificate. I think there will be some inequality in the U.S., but hopefully it will wash out quickly as the supplies increase very rapidly, and I think they're going to.
It's great.
It also gives you an incentive to overcome vaccine hesitancy. Some people are not sure still whether they want to do the vaccine, but if you promise them more mobility, more ability to get a job, more ability to get travel, that's a very powerful incentive to actually achieve fuller vaccination. Internationally, those problems are there. There's no denying it. There are going to be countries that are way behind in terms of having access to anything. But I'm going to predict that the world won't wait for vaccine passports until everybody is on board. I still think you're going to see some in place, despite the fact that this will isolate some countries and perhaps even cause them economic damage. It's just the better off and the lucky, in a certain sense, not wanting to wait for everybody to come on board.
These guys are all in. There's no breaking for them. And unfortunately, we have human resources around the world who are just not compliant. We need to teach them that they are to stay home until we tell them it's okay and until you have your vaccination, your jab. By the way, one of our producers said the reason why they call it a jab is because it's not a vaccine. You notice much more jabs, needles in arms, into arms, jab. But they never say vaccine, really, when it comes to that.
That's very funny. Now, I want to mention one thing. I keep forgetting to bitch about this enough. They had this report that I played earlier from PBS.
Mm-hmm.
While they played it, they showed at least they showed at least 4 or 5 people getting shots. I do not like watching needles going, one after another, needles going in arms and then pushing the thing.
Yeah.
Needle or push. And they're sticking it in people left and right. And they're showing this on TV. It's grossing me out.
That's to desensitize you. It's
making it worse.
No, it desensitizes.
I know, it's not desensitizing me.
Okay. Well, here's how they're desensitizing people in Brussels. Belgium, wit beer, French fries, fun things.
Back now with police unleashing water cannons on people gathered at this park in Brussels, Belgium. The gathering violated COVID restrictions. People threw bottles and other items at the officers. Several of them were injured.
Shut up, slaves. Go inside. We're going to spray you like bugs. You no good. You have no freedom. Now,
You should be spraying him with the vaccine.
Here in the United States, we love information terror. And the guy I've had my eye on since, for over a year now, met him in March at Joe Rogan, Professor Ulsterholm. His entire job is to keep telling you that it's coming. It's coming. It's going to be a tsunami. It's going to be a hurricane. We have no idea it's going to be so incredibly bad. And he's got a new metaphor.
This B117 surge is going to happen. It's not an issue of if. It's going to happen. And if you follow what we've seen in the past year, the upper Midwest and the Northeast lights up first. They have the first set of cases, and then the southern Sunbelt states light up next. Even though we're seeing few cases in that area, mark my word, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to see that area light up too.
He's only been saying this for 6 to 8 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks. Mark my words, 6 to 8 weeks, it's coming, the tsunami, the hurricane. We have no idea.
Mark my word, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to see that area light up too. We need to get more vaccine out. That's the key message right now. You know, Allison, I take no comfort at all, but I'm telling you right now, as you just said, we are just beginning this surge, and denying it is not going to help us. We are walking into the mouth of this virus monster as if somehow we don't know it's here, and it is here. Now is the time to do all the things that we must do to slow down transmission, not open up, and we got to get more vaccine out to more people.
This guy.
Wow.
Yeah. We're walking into
a clip of the day for that guy.
Thank you. It is truly the. Why is this not playing? Here we go.
Clip of the day. And by the way, that's clip of the day, and also that man should be, and I'm not kidding, locked up.
Oh yeah.
He should be locked up. This is like, it should be illegal what this is calling yelling fire in a theater. This guy should be locked up.
His head has gotten fat too. There's something up with him. I don't remember his head that fat.
Maybe steroids.
Now, Easter services, coincidentally, two churches with Polish congregation, worshiping, and this is a big part of what is going on now. We have to crush religion. We have to crush church. We cannot have you getting together and talking to your neighbors and your family. We can't have you conspiring. And we're going to do it all under the guise of COVID. And by the way, you have no right. You have no right to pray. None of that. You stupid slaves. United Kingdom.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is unfortunately unlawful under the coronavirus regulations we have currently. You are not allowed to meet inside with this many people under law. At this moment in time, you need to go home. Failure to comply with this direction to leave and go to your home address ultimately could lead you to be fined £200, or if you fail to give your details, to you being arrested. I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, though it is Good Friday and I appreciate you would like to worship, that this gathering is unlawful. So please may you leave the building now. Thank you.
So that's how the UK treats religion. They don't care. You're illegal. You're completely not in compliance. You should comply. Thank goodness. This now is the example of how you treat the system. And I feel bad for the officers involved here because they're just doing their job, just taking orders. Where have we heard it before? This is Pastor Artur Pawlowski. Again, Easter church services. He is the pastor. He has been, they've come into the church and they're telling him he has to shut it down. And this is how you address this system.
Out! Out of this property, you Nazis! Out! Out! Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not.
I should say it's Alberta, Canada.
Allowed! Out! Please leave. Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Okay. Go. Okay. So go. Go.
It's 8 cops.
And don't come back without the warrant. Out, Nazi. Out.
Out, Nazi.
Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without a warrant. Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communists, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here. Can you imagine those psychopaths? Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths?
That's how you deal with it. Man, they walked backwards all the way back to their car. He was in their face. That's how you deal with it. And that's Canada. You can get away with that in Canada. You should be able to get away with it in other places. This is just insane. They want to track us and control us. And this vaccine.
Who's they?
Big tech. This is exactly what I said last time. This is big tech's move. It's not even the government. And this is the government, sure. Big tech, they're the ones that they've been doing it. They need more access. The next business for them, they've got your social media, so they have your brain. We influence some of your shopping habits. Bank is one. They pretty much, the face bag Libra is coming back, just in a different jacket. That's going to be launched pretty soon. Everybody wants to be your bank, and now they want to be your doctor. That's what this is about. And you're going to be forced into it, a lot of people by vocation. This is the last clip I have for Fareed with the medical ethicist.
Well, there could be, and I think we'll see that happen. That's more mandating a vaccine for the right to work, if you will. Some jobs do that now. The militaries around the world will quickly be saying, as soon as the vaccines are licensed, which they're not yet, they're still out on emergency approval, but once licensure occurs, I think you'll see everybody required in the military to have to vaccinate to be in the military. But in the private sector, some jobs have high contact. You're dealing with sales force that goes out and sees a lot of people. You have a lot of people coming into the office for one reason or another, depending on the line of work. There, I think you can say, for safety and the integrity of the business and being able to work the business, we've got to assure our clients that everybody is vaccinated. So as long as you don't discriminate and say we're only going to vaccinate older people, but we don't require this of younger people, or we don't require people who live in rural areas to prove it, but we do urban. Discrimination is what the employer will have to watch out for. They can't do that. But if they put on blanket protections and say it's to protect us and to keep the business going because otherwise our customers won't trust us, I think they'll be able to do it.
Ethicist. These are freedom papers. Freedom papers. That's what slaves had. If you were a free man, you were freed as a slave, you could walk around, but you had to have your papers. It's Jim Crow on American people all over.
Jim Eagle.
Jimmy. It's bigger than Jim Crow. Now, do you remember the report we had on the last show from the producer from Brazil?
Yes.
And it was great there and everything's okay. And what was the main reason? They had a Chinese vaccine. Does that summarize it?
It was kind of, I would say it was part of the summary, sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it didn't seem to be too bad in Brazil. And then as a side note, he said, we've got the Chinese vaccine. Well, I don't know, maybe someone's listening to our show, but for sure they don't want anything tied to the Chinese vaccine as being good.
This morning, the worsening COVID crisis in Brazil. That highly contagious P1 variant wreaking havoc on the country, pushing an already strained healthcare system to the brink of collapse. Since January, hospitalizations are up 500% nationwide for people between the ages of 30 and 59.
The age of the population that our patients that are with the disease, they are younger. They are younger with a severe disease.
Most ICUs are near or at capacity. Life-saving medication and oxygen supplies running dangerously low, too. Much of the blame falling on embattled President Jair Bolsonaro, a COVID survivor himself, who has criticized lockdowns, denied science, and lashed out at leaders who
denied
science, such as former Minister of Health.
Denied science. Yeah, this is now a thing you can do. Hey, I'm going to go Google that after I deny some science.
Problem. We have a social problem. We have an economic problem with the way that he's dealing.
With an election approaching, Bolsonaro is scrambling to acquire as much vaccine as possible. Just over 2% of Brazilians are fully vaccinated.
The playground here at the school in Sao Paulo has been converted into a vaccination site. This is where people register behind me, and then down on that end, that's where shots go into arms. Here they're offering 2 vaccines, one from China and one from Great Britain.
Ah, okay. Offering 2. Which one do you want?
So I want to play this clip, which is just to put us back on a baseline. On the PBS NewsHour, these 2 guys, Brooks and Capehart, it's the other guy, this black guy. And they have these back and forth, and they represent the liberal thinking in this country. Capehart in particular. He is a black columnist, black and gay, columnist for the Washington Post and represents a form of thinking the way I see it. And what he does, and one of the things I like to do is look at, you listen to CBS to see what the CIA is up to. Mm-hmm. You listen to certain people. To get back to a baseline, I want you to hear and reflect upon what this guy's about to say, and insofar as how he feels about what's going on, and he's reflecting the newsroom of the Washington Post and all the liberal thought in the East Coast.
I feel like I've Groundhog Day, because I believe I said this a few weeks ago. We are so close. We're always so close to getting to the other side of this pandemic in terms of cases going down, hospitalizations, deaths, businesses being able to reopen, and then states end up doing something to kind of mess it all up. And, for states to undo their mask mandates, open things wide open again as cases are going up, as variants are running rampant across the land, when you have the CDC director going off script and saying that she's extremely worried about what's going to happen. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. And I think people are being a little too optimistic about how much they can do because of the vaccines. I, like anyone, would like to get the vaccine and get back to normal, but I would love for things to get back to normal when the country can actually do it in a uniform way. And I'm not seeing right now how we're going to be able to do that by the time of the president's goal of July 4th.
Oh, I have several thoughts about this. First, go ahead.
Well, my first thought is that this is, again, liberal America's promotion of not one world government, even though it leads to that, but a national government. Yeah, the way this country operates is on state by state governments.
Yeah, they can't have any of that. This is wrong. And
so what he wants is a national government, and you can hear it in all the. Why this isn't working now is because you got one state. Florida is an outlier. They don't really have any more per capita cases. They have actually less than New York, which is incredibly locked down, or Jersey. But we can't have this kind of thing. This is not good. We want a national government telling everybody what to do. This is probably, of course, anyone who understands American politics knows this is the worst possible scenario. But what was your thoughts?
One is that the liberal media are as dumb as Charlie Brown in the football, because that's what it started off with. Every time we get close, we can't quite get there to the other side of this. And they don't understand that they're being played like little puppets, because it's not that people are doing things wrong. It's that the lies just ratchet up. Oh, cases. Oh, we're going oh no. Oh. We're walking into the monster's mouth.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, before you continue, I want to mention that what you're saying is something that our listeners really need to understand about the liberal media. They're sincere.
Totally.
They're not trying to trick us.
And as with that, they want every single person to be vaccinated. Screw herd immunity. And it's not, it's a requirement for you to be a human being near them. The shaming is off the hook. The shaming is starting, and you're going to be called a vax freeloader or a free rider. If whatever virtue signal there is, if you don't have it, people will look at you askew. And this is what the liberal media is pushing. You heard him. It's not good until everybody's done it. Everybody has to do it. Everybody. And then he comes with a bunch of bullcrap lies, like saying the CDC director went off script. I think we pretty much debunked that. Watch her read it when she even says those words. And then all the way through the variants. I had a thought about the variants. When the words was used, we were still thinking strains, mutant strains. That's what every single horror movie with outbreaks and with whatever, we're all going to die from some virus. It's always the strain, the strain, the strain, the strain. Why now variants? We never answered the question, did we?
No, are you going to answer it?
I'm going to try. Here's Bill Gates talking about CRISPR about 2 years ago.
We also have recent breakthroughs like the gene editing technologies, including CRISPR. And so, we should be able to use that for very low cost point of care precision diagnostics. We should be able to use that for therapeutics. And we should gain understandings of how to do vaccines, even vaccines that the turnaround time, instead of being the typical 3 or 4 years, literally at some point we'd be able to create in months. And we want to use these tools not just for orphan diseases or not just for diseases in rich countries, but also for the diseases that predominantly afflict people in the countries where most of humanity lives in, the middle income and the low income countries. It was 8 years ago that CRISPR came along, and it continues to evolve in some pretty fantastic ways, including the accuracy of the editing. Today, over 89% of genetic variants that we know are associated with human disease can be corrected. That is, if you get in to the cells of interest, you can make those corrections.
So the way I see it, this technology is why people are using this term. And is it to get us used to it, or they already know it, and because it's mRNA, that they're using the term variant instead of strain? Maybe it's just an overall shift in the medical community. I'm not sure, but I found that to be coincidental to run across that.
Well, I'm sticking with what I'm... Because of the PCR test, which is just picking up little bits and pieces, the way it operates, I'm sticking with the original thesis I picked up from that French Nobel Prize-winning doctor who identified this as a lab-designed virus that will, when in the wild, start to deteriorate and become very slowly, which with a million little mutations and variants, very slowly resolve itself to become the common cold.
Right.
And if you're going to just do PCR tests on everybody, you're going to be you're starting to pick up, I believe, because it's this virulent, but nobody's dying of it.
Right.
You're picking up people, I believe, with the common cold, calling it COVID and keeping the numbers up. It's all bullshit at this point.
About this vaccine, I found, I didn't find, someone sent me an interview with Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, who is total anti-vaxxer.
Yes, she's a
great name. Total anti-vaxxer. She definitely connects autism to vaccinations.
That's why she's been relegated to BitChute.
Yes, BitChute and what is the other one? VideoTube.
Rambo. There's about 10 of these
Brighteon. There you go.
Oh, yeah. I think that's where she is. She's on Brighteon.
But she was able to explain in two short clips and one 2-minute clip exactly what the mRNA is doing. And I just wanted to share that because it's even a little different than I understood it. And she does a pretty good job of it. And we start, which although we have discussed many times, and part of the reason why people are getting sick after their second jab, or after they've had COVID and get the jab, the first jab, and that is something that they were very aware of with all coronavirus vaccines, which have been in manufacturing and in trial since 2002. Here's a short history.
They've been trying to develop a coronavirus vaccine as far back as 2002. And they were never able to bring it to market because they could not prove safety. When they would inject the coronavirus experimental vaccines into animals, they would get re-exposed with the coronavirus, and they would come either deathly sick or die. So the FDA said, you can't move this forward. And the articles talk about the fact the researchers said that we must proceed with great caution to move forward to develop a coronavirus vaccine in humans because of a process called antibody-dependent enhancement.
Yeah, that's what we got to look out for. So when you get those antibodies, and then you get the antibodies again. And this is what that other crazy doc was saying, who we played on the last show. He's like, this is reckless. You should not be giving people who have had it, who have antibodies. Guaranteed, if you have antibodies, you introduce this process, which is supposed to...
Yeah, it's a completely alien process.
It activates the antibodies you just built up, and you get feverish, and you get sick, and some people can die from that. So here's how it works.
They take a little piece of genetic material that's called messenger RNA, and it's encoded, meaning it's got a recipe written on it for a specific type of protein. So if you can keep that in mind, that with messenger RNA, it's literally a messenger. It takes a message from your cellular DNA out into your cells with a recipe, that it takes the recipe to the manufacturing process, and that manufacturing process is called the ribosomes. Think of the ribosomes as an assembly line. So they take the recipe, they do from your DNA, the messenger RNA goes out into the cell, delivers the recipe to the ribosomes. The ribosomes then process the recipe and make a protein. That happens all day long, 24/7 in our bodies. It's a normal process that happens inside of us. It helps us with repair, like if you've had surgery or an injury or any of those things. It's all of those repair things. Well, what these two injections have done is they've taken a piece of a messenger RNA that has a recipe written on it, designed in a lab. And that recipe is to go and make, through the manufacturing process, a protein called the spike protein. Those messenger RNA little particles are extremely unstable. And in order to take them from the laboratory and get them into your body, they have to be wrapped around in a bubble of lipid coating. They wrap around that messenger RNA with the recipe to keep it stable. So when they inject that messenger RNA with the recipe coated in the lipids with the shellac around the outside of it into your body, that lipid protein binds with your cells and opens up. Think about it like cracking open like an egg and depositing that messenger RNA with the recipe inside of your cells. That recipe then is run through the ribosomes. Think of that as the factory to make the protein. That protein is called the spike protein. That protein is supposed to be similar to the spike protein on the surface of the coronavirus that's causing infection. The idea behind this process is that if we create this protein and then we create an antibody to that protein, we can take that antibody, and the next time the coronavirus is floating around, we'll glob onto its spike protein and neutralize it.
I kind of like the whole idea. The whole technology sounds... Yeah, it sounds
well. We've talked
reasonable.
About this exact same thing, and my comment early on was, if this is true and it actually works, which I have not seen any evidence of it.
Well, I clearly have a follow-up clip.
Okay, if it's true and it works, it should end the common cold.
Absolutely, which is why they started researching them in the first place.
Now, if they can, of course, it's only half. There's a rhinovirus cold too. There's two kinds, but it'll end the common cold, which is usually the bad colds are caused by coronavirus, and so it should end so anyone who gets this vaccine, if it works, it should end the common cold in them forever. Yeah, but why they won't let it be tested on animals, because it apparently doesn't work.
Well, we heard how it's supposed to work. This is what's actually happening.
In theory, that's what's supposed to happen. But instead, what happens is once we've gone through that manufacturing, we've created that spike protein, there's a lot of different things that can happen with it. For one thing, it can irrevocably bind to the surface of your cells. The other thing that protein can do is, but through a process called transfection, can go backwards. The protein then can bind to your DNA and irreversibly change it. The third thing that spike protein can do once we've manufactured it is, yes, we can make antibodies to that spike protein. The problem is there's a real issue with the antibodies that are created through this process. Under normal vaccination, like for, say, flu shots or the measles or shingles or the chickenpox, we make a particular type of antibody that's called a neutralizing antibody. When that binds to those recurrent viruses, it gobbles them up, brings in your white blood cells, and disposes of it. We don't even know that happens. It happens all day long in our immune system. But the anti-spike antibodies, I've mapped out about 10 different mechanisms of injury that anti-spike antibody can cause inside of your body once it's been created by that process, that manufacturing process I just described. That anti-spike antibody that's supposed to be there to keep you from getting sick, actually, if you produce it in very high quantities, can have direct adverse effects on your tissues, primarily your lungs, but also to the liver, to the kidney, and to your heart.
Yay! Tasty.
So I get another way of looking at this, I think, is that you've got these guys trying to do coronavirus vaccinations in 2002, and probably long before that. And they keep running into a brick wall, which is they give it to a bunch of animals and all the mink die or whatever.
Yeah, once they get infected with in the wild, once they get the in the wild virus,
you can't get this thing past the animal trials, and they keep looking at the numbers and they keep looking at the math and they keep looking at the charts and stuff they draw on the whiteboard, and they say, it's quite possible, because it is possible that we're different enough that it's not going to have the same effect on humans as it will on the animals, but we can't get past these animal trials because then that's what's killing us moving ahead with these ideas, with the mRNA vaccine style of vaccination. What do we have to do to bypass the animal trials?
Well,
boom, here's your opportunity.
One, kill all the mink just to make sure.
Kill all the mink
just to make sure, just in case anyone gets any ideas. And yeah. Well, that's pretty sick.
So the person says, I don't want the vaccine because I don't want to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you are. You're a guinea pig to take this thing.
And, we had ivermectin was starting to kind of creep back up again. You can't post about ivermectin on social media. You'll get, I think you'll have to take that down.
Is it ivermectin? I
think it's ivermectin. I think it's ivermectin.
Well, I'll look it up.
It's readily available anywhere. In a pinch, you can get it for your dog, and you can eat it. You'll be okay, and you won't get worms, and your coat will be nice and shiny. But you also probably won't die. So this is a problem, and the pharmaceutical industry does what it does.
It is ivermectin. It's ivermectin.
There's no N in ivermectin?
ivermectin.
Oh, I'm glad you looked it up. Ivermectin, then. Perfect. So what we have seen is, hey, when it's going against a vaccine, it's probably Pfizer's marketing team who are discrediting their competitors, and that's what we saw with AstraZeneca. That's what we saw with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So now we have to have get Kimmel on the phone. This ivermectin thing is irritating the crap out of us. We already got Twitter and Facebook and everyone taking that stuff down. We've got warning links over at YouTube. We've demonetized people talking about it. We've gotten rid of the frontline doctors and anyone else who said that. They are now on Brighteon. That's where they are. They're on Brighteon. Good job, everybody. But this ivermectin thing, it's a problem. Kimmel, what can we do with Kimmel? Well, I know, boss. Let's do a skit. It'll be great.
This week in COVID history, as we head into April 2020, President Trump is a ratings hit. Mr. Trump and his coronavirus updates have attracted an audience of 8.5 million, roughly the viewership of the season finale of The Bachelor. That's not me talking. That's literally what the president tweeted. Word for word. It was weird.
Did you know I was number one on Facebook?
Number one on Facebook. So, Mr. Number One, how do we beat this pandemic? Maybe by wearing masks. The CDC says it's a good idea.
With the masks, it's going to be really a voluntary thing. You can do it. You don't have to do it. I'm choosing not to do it.
Great thinking, Mr. T. Who needs masks when you have tonight's sponsor? Hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, hydroxy.
Chloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine. Hydroxyquinolone.
It's unbelievable and totally untested.
I was sure it was ivermectin. Maybe it comes up later, but hydroxy is the same story.
We have purchased 29 million pills. We're sending them to the hospitals. We're sending them all over. There are signs that it works on this, some very strong signs.
But don't just take his word for it.
Everything shows that it works.
I think this is the beginning of the end of the pandemic. I'm very serious.
I think history will judge who's right on this debate. I bet on President Trump's intuition on this one.
Yes, our president knows best.
What do you have to lose? Take it.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I thought it was ivermectin.
Well, it still is the same idea.
It makes my setup.
They haven't done a sketch on ivermectin yet. They have taken it off the market, though. That's kind of a bust.
Well, of course they have done that. I had the, there was a great PSA. Let me see this is the CDC public service announcement, because we still need you to comply with the masking, even though Texas, it is unnecessary.
They're still masked up.
It's about 85% now, but yeah, they're totally masked up. And I went to the spin studio, big joke. You go in, it's packed, shoulder to shoulder, no mask, but walking in the door, better have a mask on. This is the Centers for Disease Control, their propaganda du jour, and this is going to carry over to the vaccine. Right now, it's about the mask. You will take these exact same people with the exact same words and replace mask for vaccine in about the next 3 weeks.
I wear a mask because...
I wear a mask because it's a tiny sacrifice to protect your freedoms.
I wear a mask because I can help stop the spread of COVID-19 in my community.
I wear a mask because I care about you, even if I don't know you.
I want to keep doctors, nurses, and other essential workers safe.
I wear a mask because I can, but my baby can't.
I wear a mask because I want to feel safe sending my kids back to school. My kids wear masks to keep their friends safe.
I wear a mask because I want you to stay healthy.
I wear a mask because I really want to get a haircut soon.
I wear a mask because I care about the health and well-being of those around me.
I wear a mask because I might not know that I'm sick.
Yo uso una máscara para mi familia y la comunidad.
I wear a mask because I want to keep others safe.
I wear a mask because I want to protect everybody.
I wear a mask because too many people who look like me are getting sick and dying from COVID-19.
I've grown fond of seeing people smile with their eyes. It's a beautiful experience in these times.
Do it for their futures.
Even if you don't have to, I hope you choose to.
I'm doing it to protect your freedom.
That had every racist, every connotation. It was fantastic, Hollywood production. But I just cannot imagine a mom wearing a mask to protect her baby.
Oh, John, holy crap. Absolutely.
Why would a mom who should be hugging and kissing the baby and suckling the baby be wearing a mask? This is stupid.
Okay. What we just heard and what we hear as stupid has been incredibly effective. The people who have only been exposed to a certain type of messaging and who in general are underinformed, over-socialized, headline readers, headline routers. Ooh, look at this headline. They are all in. And even people who have been to our home during this pandemic and who have been here with us, although at one point socially distanced, but then not really all that much, they get the vaccine and they are ecstatic, John. Oh my God, I can't wait. And they're celebrating. And whenever I hear people that ecstatic about their vaccine, I try to remember them as they were at that moment. Happy. Yes. That because I just want to make sure I have that memory of them before they either figure out they've been hosed, duped, or worse.
You know, this reaction to the vaccine, I'm wondering whether they put a little amphetamine in that shot, you know?
No, but this is before they get it. This is just getting the meeting, just getting the you got an appointment. Where did you get the appointment? Where did you get it? Do they have a website? Can I get on that? I need to have an appointment.
There should be somebody could do the Beatles song on that.
Which one?
I got the appointment. Oh boy, blah blah blah.
You mean Day in the Life?
Yeah, Day in the Life.
I got the appointment today. Oh boy.
Boom.
My vax was all set up at CVS. It was a drive-through.
You're writing it for him.
I know. You interrupted my flow, man. I was there.
Yeah. Let them finish it.
Let me see. I got another thing here. Oh, yes. Another clip that we played weeks and weeks ago started to go viral, but I think it is appropriate now. It's the other side to the Freedom Passport, and that is the Well Health Building. The certification. I will replay the star-studded celebrity advertisement for the Well Health Certification Corporation, Inc., LLC.
If you want to get back to your favorite places and feel confident they have put your health and safety first,
look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal. I'm Dr. Richard Carmona, the 17th Surgeon General of the United States of America. This is the Well Health Safety Seal from the International Well Building Institute, the global authority on healthy buildings.
The Well Health Safety Rating was informed by years of research and input from hundreds of leading virologists, public health experts, epidemiologists, and building professionals around the world.
You'll see it at schools, offices, banks, childcare centers, all the places we go.
The Well Health Safety Seal means that we'll feel better going into restaurants,
theaters, stores, hotels,
stadiums, and all the places that we love.
Everything may look the same, but the Well Health Safety Seal means that your health and safety are top of mind when it comes to cleaning and sanitizing procedures,
air and water quality management,
emergency preparedness programs,
and health services.
So look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside
and feel more confident going inside. Learn more about the Well Health Safety Rating at wellhealthsafety.com.
Robert De Niro, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, all highly overpaid, irrelevant people after the pandemic. And so this goes viral again. We've already deconstructed it. I'll just do it again quickly. Yes?
I was just saying, so go on, finish up, because I have a thought or two about stupidity.
Yeah, well, the first thing is the stupidity of the M5M. Fox and Friends brought Charles Payne on to explain what's going on. And he's partially right, but God, man, Wikipedia, Google.
This is the Green New Deal. This is the Green New Deal.
And notice he does say dill. I kind of like that.
Mixed with the one world government, and it's the ultimate shakedown. Small businesses are going to suffer. You know, a couple of years ago when AOC suggested that all buildings may have to be retrofitted, the bottom line that they have to become green compliant. This is a step toward that direction with a focus on going after businesses. And listen, it's extraordinarily expensive. It's anywhere from $2,500 to $12,000, depending on the size of the building. And some of the things they say they cover, there's 22 criteria. You got to hit 15 of them. Air and water quality, health service resources, whatever the hell that means, emergency preparedness programs. I mean, imagine you open up a bagel shop and this is what you've got to deal with. It's absolutely phenomenal. And let me tell you guys, this is dangerous stuff. Apparently, they already have this program in place in 67 countries, over 8.5 million businesses.
So Charles Payne is like, my hair's on fire. This is nothing new. These are literally, it's a rebrand of the U.S. GBC, the U.S. Green Building Council. It's the same people, the same founder. These are the people that brought us LEED. Do you remember LEED? Lead is what makes your toilets.
Trying to come up with something they can gouge these poor businesses. It's got nothing to do with the New World Order. I can assure you.
No, this is total money grab. This is the leadership and energy and environmental design. It's the reason why your toilets don't flush the way they used to. It's the reason why you have no shower pressure. That's who these guys are. And I'm sad because one of our producers here in Austin, his family had a whole background in commercial cleaning products, and he put together a dynamite pitch deck. They had they had like a military guy and a doctor guy, and they had all the right people on the board. They wanted to do this exact thing. They wanted to do a certification for buildings. I actually helped them with that deck and sent it on to Kleiner Perkins. I'm like, yeah, why not? Give it a shot. They're no match for this group. This is a multi-billion-dollar operation. And they're just out to screw that part. He's right. You'll have to have a certification. You'll have a QR code. And it's just another part of the whole equation. And it's all QR codes.
When I go into a restaurant, I'm more concerned about what the local health department thinks than some bogus little sticker.
I know.
That sticker's going nowhere.
But you're going to see restaurant. It's going to be very interesting. Businesses are going to be stuck between their regulars who demand that their staff is vaccinated, that their building has a well health certification. Well, that would be, and then anyone comes in has to have a vaccine, a freedom passport, and then they'll have the other customers who will say,
"Not going to get a lot that the way I see it." I'm not going there.
I understand, but that will depend.
Remember it was in Florida or someplace where they said we're the one store that doesn't require, or they had some do-gooders went on TV saying, well, this store doesn't require masks. And the next thing you know, the place was packed.
Can you just think for a business owner for a second, which choice do you make? If you're in Austin, if you're in Austin, what are you going to do? And not that people are afraid. They're all full of crap. They're liars.
No, except for a few. They're
brain
attacking small businesses. They want big business.
Mm-hmm. The Great Reset, baby. Put them out of business. Just make it too expensive for anybody to operate. It's the socialist way. This is what I grew up with in the Netherlands. That's how it works. And send everybody blue envelopes with warnings. Whoa. So you know the government envelope is blue.
Well, that's what part of their marketing scheme would be the next thing to do, it seems to me.
Well, yeah.
The same guys who put those little certificates out should send out a flyer because you can get the mailing list for every local citizen through various sources and send out, here's the places that would not comply.
Yes. Oh.
Why not?
Yeah.
And put it in a blue envelope.
Just with one of those windows, and the little address window. Whenever you get one of those,
glassine window.
Yeah, you're always, oh crap, another one from the government. The government. Yeah. Well, of course we need to reject this. I hope America can do it. I think Europe they won't even get a choice because you have no freedom. You have no freedom over there. You can't.
Well, they're marching over there though. We're not doing any of this. We're not getting hosed down by the Brussels government.
No, but we don't have a curfew either. It's a little different. We're not as locked down as Europe.
We had a curfew in California.
Hello, California. You deserve to die out there. Come on, crazy people. You are too obedient.
No, actually, there's all these. That's where you're missing the point.
Oh.
There's all these rules, but nobody, people follow them in a catch-as-catch-can manner. I mean, some people, the curfew didn't. I look out and I can see the freeway from my windows, and the curfew did nothing, and nobody had enforced it. There was unless there's an enforcement mechanism, which there rarely is, especially in California. They just assume everyone's going to do what they're going to do and probably follow the rules. There's nothing to it.
Hey, I get a lot of email from people about this movie, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Ah, yes. Now streaming.
Ed, so did you get any emails about this?
No, I got no emails about it.
So
I've seen some reviews, though, and people seem to get a kick out of it.
Well, so from what I understand,
messages.
Well, from what I understand, the storyline is a podcaster. Hello, has has discovered something. I really don't know the full plot. And then one of the podcast listeners, this girl, she's figuring out what's going on, and she tries to explain it to her dad. So that's the extent of what I know about the plot. But when I hear these lines from the movie, I mean, often people say, wow, man, someone said in the morning, and they must be a listener. No, they were just talking about something in the morning.
You're right. I did get mail about this.
All right, so here's a shorty. This does have a number of no agenda-esque type talk in here.
Dad, I'm telling you, there is something provoking him that we're not seeing here. Why else would Godzilla flash an intimidation display if there wasn't another Titan around?
That podcast is filling your head with garbage. You should be in school.
I am just trying to help.
I don't want you to help. I want you to stay safe.
Come on. I mean, the first part about podcasts and everything, but then I just want you to stay safe, that was obvious. That was an obvious wink towards you.
Yeah, sure.
We just want JCD, when he sees this movie, to yell, go fuck yourself. That's all they want. They're just trying to trigger you. So anyway, we do have these cool ISOs, I guess.
That podcast is filling your head with garbage. You should be in school.
And then, so they go down to some place where the magic is, or the secret, and they take an elevator down into the earth.
Sub-level 33.
Sub-level 33. I mean, come on.
It was sub-level 33?
Yes.
I'll give him that one.
So I think we have to watch this movie now. There might be something to it.
I guess so. I'll record it. I'll try to pull some clips from it.
Oh, good. Well, I'm just going to watch it.
Sub-level 33.
You go pull those clips.
I'm going to go pull clips, man.
Why don't you pull
you're gone.
Why don't you pull a tab?
While you're in Abilene, living it up at the Motel 6.
Galveston. Pull a tab, baby.
All right. Anything else left on the COVID beat?
Let me see. I'm waiting for you to pull a tab.
Pull. Oh, I thought you would. Here's what I thought you meant. You're in Galveston at the bar, and you're doing a bit, and you said, pull the tab. I want to, you're going to open up a tab at the bar in Galveston, so you and the keeper can live it up.
I got to figure out.
That's what I thought you meant.
I know. We have not been successful yet in queuing our PBR moment.
No,
I don't know. We'll never get it together, I guess.
Well, it sure drives me to drinking.
Oh, okay. There it is, everybody.
Put my ass in a lawn chair, toes in the clay. Not a worry in a world of PBR on the way. Life is good today.
Yeah, man.
Life is good today.
That's right, everybody.
I've got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind.
And I'd like to say in the morning, thank you for your courage. The man who put the C twice in celebrity COVID endorsement, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John C. Dvorak, soon to be the birthday boy.
In the morning to you, Mr. Adam Kerr. Also in the morning, ships, sea, boots, and graphite in the air, subs in the water, dames, and the nights out there.
In the morning, too, our trolls in the illustrious troll room. How you doing, trolls? Good to have everybody here. Let me see. Can I get the troll counter? Clickety, 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 clack. What do we have? Hands up, trolls. 1703. Low for a Sunday.
Oh, very low.
That's very low.
Well,
it's Easter.
But it's an Easter holiday.
It's Easter. Hey, what are you people doing here at all?
Really? Should be looking for eggs or going to church, one of the two.
That's actually quite insane to have that many people on Easter. Heathens, I tell you. Heathens. That's the troll room. Also available on Easter for trolling. That's right. We don't close 24/7. NoAgendaStream.com is where you can get all the action and listen to the live stream while you troll along. It's great fun. It truly is. And a lot of those trolls can be found on Mastodon, the Federated Network, where we have our own server, noagendasocial.com. You can follow people there. Now, you can't join right now. We're going to wait until I think we're back from our break, and then we're going to purge whatever accounts have been inactive for over 2 years. We'll open it up again. Just trying to keep it small, decentralized, so please consider...
We also have to rouse certain troublemakers.
Oh, well, we're totally rousting troublemakers. And now that I've seen the latest animated No Agenda video, I am totally for the Nuremberg trials. I want you and your riding crop and your leather hat. I want you leading them, and we will eliminate people from the platform.
You will be eliminated.
We'll do it just like Jack does it. It'll be insanely cool. I
need to get a nose ring so I can do that right.
So you can follow at Adam at noagendasocial.com. What we need is a website that shows different instances people can sign up to, because you can still join in the party.
What do you think that look is that Jack Dorsey's trying to convey? He's got disheveled hair, a huge, like, Taliban beard, and a nose ring.
Yeah. Well, he looks like...
What is that?
He looks like one thing and one thing only. Badass goat. Yeah, exactly.
It's like a badass goat.
That's noagendasocial.com. And you can also follow at John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com. And we had a major meltdown on our art generator for episode 1334. Everyone noticed it. Now, it was interesting going to No Agenda Social afterwards and seeing all the people yelling and trying to get our attention. It may come as a surprise, but it's really even hard to keep track of the troll room while we're doing a show. So I'm not on No Agenda Social.
Email.
I'm not emailing, looking at posts. I'm not going down my TL. We're doing a show. So great efforts. Does no one have my phone number? Does no one have a Signal account who can reach out to me? But anyway, it wouldn't have mattered because there wasn't much we can do about it. However, it just got worse from there as we wound up choosing a piece of art, which, to my knowledge, was also completely stolen.
It was stolen? Bat soup was stolen?
Yes, it was stolen. All they did is they changed the background and the colors.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And we didn't change it because we were, disappointed with the whole process, couldn't bitch and moan about anything. And
that's too bad.
Yeah, no, it's very bad. And what happens is you got artists who are they're ready to revolt. You got mutiny.
No, most artists are revolting.
Yeah, I mean, but it's mutiny because A, no one had a chance to be picked, and B, we picked some piece of bogus stolen stuff.
I didn't notice that first time around. Oh well. Happens.
Now,
but we were between a rock and a hard place, so we didn't have time for this.
Yeah, and in fact, I got one load on the art generator, and all these things did coincidentally happen together. We had a glitch, and I'm said that because it was a true glitch in the Matrix. We lost the stream. We had a net split on the troll room, and the art generator went down.
Yes, we were being attacked.
We were being
under attack.
We were totally being attacked with some DDoS.
Yep.
Yeah, and we live on.
Yes, of course, because we were independent of Podbean.
So it's too bad. There was a lot of really nicely done art. Now today, obviously, we've already got. I'm not going to look at it because I don't want to be influenced. But you will be able to see some of the things rolling by. I'm sure Dreb Scott will put them into our snazzy chapters, which you can see on any compatible Podcasting 2.0 app. We suggest Breeze, Sphinx, Podstation, and Podfriend. All great apps to enjoy the future with. As the prediction came out, and I didn't make this prediction, but a journalist in the industry said they expect Apple to close down the Apple Podcast database pretty soon.
Wow.
And the reason is they're going to go exclusive. They're going to allow people to charge, money for it. So $2.99 for a season, I guess, whatever, $2.99 a year. I don't know what it'll be. And so they want to keep that within their walls. They want people listening to that stuff free somewhere else. So I think people will have to make a decision. You're exclusive in there with Apple. You're exclusive in there with Spotify, or you're screwed.
Well, that's a mistake.
Oh, and I don't know it for sure, but when a journalist says, go ahead.
There's no doubt about the fact that something like that would have been discussed.
Yeah.
You've been in enough meetings.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. I talked to the James Boggs over there. He's the boss of all of podcasting at Apple. And I talked to him in November, December, and I told him what we were doing, and he's like, "Yeah, that's great." And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, so you're working on your Apple Podcast One, right? It'll be part of your package." He said, "Yeah. What do you think of the idea?" stupidly, I said, God, that's a really dumb idea. I would never try to compete with Spotify like that. So subsequently, I got no more details on what they're doing. But I'm pretty sure that they had the meeting, if true, and said, well, that podcastindex.org, they've got it covered, so we're just going to shut it off. And I think that might happen.
Well, what you might have done foolishly or by accident, on accident, let's say, as the millennials
inadvertently, how does that sound?
It avoids the problem with on.
Oh.
I would say that you may have given them an idea, because when you said, why are you going to do that? You can't compete with Spotify. You made it sound as though there's some sort of invincible foe.
and they got all irked and have to go do it now?
Yeah. Don't you think it's possible? These guys, not invented here, that whole thing.
Well, good. Power to them. I have no problem with power to them. And
it's inevitable.
We'll just sit over here with all our cool
it,
apps and our little features and go screw yourselves.
I think I've always thought it was inevitable that Apple is going to shut the door on being a delivery mechanism without getting any money.
Do you know what I found out? That it was also on accident that they became kind of the index of choice for any podcast app developer, and that's how their podcast app works. The Apple app actually does all the aggregation inside. It just needed to ping some database somewhere just to get some basic details. And that's why they had to keep the whole database open, because you can't be giving everyone API keys who buys an iPhone or wants to use the podcast app. So it was totally by accident. They weren't actually being necessarily nice and saying, go ahead, access our index. And I think that they'll just be like, we never wanted it anyway. Let's close it down. We're done. And then, and there we will be.
It's not a shocker when Apple pulls stunts like this.
No.
And over the years, they've shut down dealer networks. They've changed their main processing chip and told every developer, too bad, recode. I mean,
Rosetta. They're doing it again with the M1 chip. Recode. Yeah. None of that shit works anymore. Anyway, if you want to find out how we are saving independent podcasting, go to podcastindex.org. But screw that. I'd like to see some brand new art today. So noagendaartgenerator.com. Thank you all very much, artists, for hanging in there and for not going straight into the mutiny train. I hear you. You're sensitive. You're angry. Stuff does happen. We were under attack. Nothing we could really do about it. Even Cloudflare. I mean, they protected us ultimately, but couldn't really make it all happen for us. So looking forward to some fresh art. One of the few podcasts that has the production staff to do this, to give us a choice of 10, 15 pieces, truly unheard of. That's why we are the best podcast in the universe. And we'd like to thank our executive and associate executive producers for episode 1335, since that's the only way we fund the operation. No creepy corporate money, no Chinese influence, no ads, just you, the producers, and us.
So we start off today with 2 anonymous donations.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if these are combined or what, because the first
anonymous.
donation...
Yeah, you don't know who it is.
Well, you don't know anything.
Right.
But the first one is $1,399 from Berwyn, Illinois, and it's got no note.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is for $696.96, 69696.
Mm-hmm.
And it's anonymous, and it says, no jingles, no karma. Happy birthday, John.
And by the way, tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday, John.
Tomorrow is my birthday. Oh, and that's why he's got 69, 69, 69.
Hello.
Yeah.
But now, anonymous, the top one is blue. Is this an Insta-night? What is this?
Again, is there a knighting list on there that?
Oh, I know what this is. Yes, this was, yes. Let me see. I have Sir Goldplate. That's right.
It's our buddy Sir Goldplate.
Yeah.
He's the one who keeps coming in and out of. Right. He's a Black Knight. He's got to be Black Knighted.
Oh,
because he's gotten in the vortex.
Oh no, he did not. How long has he been spinning in the vortex?
About a month.
Oh no.
Yeah, when you get in the vortex like he did, You're in there for a while.
Yeah, that's bad. And you can get dizzy, nauseous.
I don't know, because he donated $1,000 and got credit for it in some show ago. He never got knighted. I don't know. It's in the vortex. It's going to take a while to get out.
Oh, man. Well, if you look at the ground...
Largely my fault in this case, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, if you just... Anonymous, if you just look at the ground, the spinning will eventually go away. You'll feel less nauseous. It's okay.
We'll get it straightened out of it when we get back from this long-needed vacation. My God.
We are messing up. I know. I can't remember things, so I will stop. You must have noticed this.
You knew how to pronounce it, but you somehow added an N for unknown reasons, and then it wasn't even about that.
It's worse. It's worse. I'll be talking, and I'll be telling a story or whatever, and then right in the moment, I lose it, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
B12. You stopped taking it, didn't you?
No. You're right. I'm out. It has been over a week. You're right.
You used to take a B12 before the show.
Yeah, and I still take all my stuff before the show. I take the Congaplex and the and there's another one, the Copa, the
Copacabana.
No, it's a Copa. I can't remember.
Onward with the donation
segment. Stop now with your B12. Yes.
David Fugazoto's next on the list from Gladstone, Missouri. Gladstone. He's the Duke of America's heartland in Arabian Peninsula.
He has been locked up in Saudi Arabia for, I think, and now did he actually see his daughter's birth? Or
$432.10. He's been there since COVID began.
Yeah.
Wow. Happy Easter, he writes, from Saudi Arabia. Or, as they call it here, Sunday, the 4th of April.
Right. In Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm.
The first working day of the week. We're now 26 days away. You probably get your head chopped off for mentioning Easter. We're now 26 days away from our most recent termination. So this termination story of his has been part of a kind of a lore that we haven't fully understood.
Well, he's a contractor, and I think his organization is contracted by the military. But it sounds like he may even be part of subcontractor groups, or it just shows you. I mean, it's all based on, to my mind, it's based on politics and budget. So hey, whatever he's doing over there, and God knows. How friendly is the Biden administration? Are they sending stuff over? Do we have jets? Do we have maintenance? Do we need a base? I mean, that's the kind of stuff. And then when you get someone new in, they don't know. And then it's very expensive to send everybody back. If you can keep them a little bit longer, maybe pay them through the slump and then pick up the slack. He's basically a modern slave.
He is. There's no doubt about it. We might make it to June at the end of this current personnel contract. Little girl, yay. I got a few irons in the fire for my return to the USA and have a job interview back at my last organization as a civilian instructor at the Army's Command and General Staff College.
Oh.
So he needs some jobs, Carmer. Mm-hmm. We'll give it to you here at the end of the note. As I write this, I'm on a video chat with Dame Isabella and Dame Melody. So they're talking on the video.
Uh-huh.
They both say, hi. In fact, Isabella was just telling me about a book that she's reading for the third time in a row, and it said that, quote, the book is pretty much the reason that I want to become a dictator. I mean, diplomat. Well, I told her it's good to have career goals, and while being a diplomat has its perks, I wouldn't rule out dictator either. You don't know where your talents may lie until you get a bit older. That said, we'd prefer you not to be a dictator. That is all to you both. Enjoy your well-deserved holiday. And John, happy birthday and stay safe. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, Dave. We hope you get to rejoin your family very soon.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Also at 43210 is Dreb Scott, who just says, thanks for all your hard work. Enjoy your time off. No jingles, no karma.
This is Dreb, who does the chapters for us, and he's donating. Sir Dreb Scott, thank you so much. Very nice.
He's a man among men.
Dude named Ben named Mike, $420. I see you. In Troy, Illinois. Let's see. ITM gentlemen, after hearing your poetry reading, I was elevated by the high art. I knew I had to donate. My donation of $420 is for my April 20 April. Can you read what this says? 20 April 71 birthday? I don't know what that is. April. First, he's 71.
April 20th, 1971. That's when he was born.
No, he's 71. Sounds better. Potheads do the stoner laugh, and history nerds point out Hitler's birthday, April 20th, 1889. I point out Carmen Electra's birthday, April 20th, 1972. I've been listening to you since last July after Adam was on the Tom Woods Show. Hey, a TWO donation. My opinions are not...
Tom Wood donation.
My opinions are not on the 3x5 card of allowable opinion. I did make a 3333 donation back before I understood the system, so I need a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
And he's very proud of the fact he spelled it right. Please make fun of Sharp informing respect. We need some Benjamin Crump ISOs to add to the Race Bait Clown Show. Please send them. Thank you, Crackpot. Thank you, Buzzkill. A dude named Ben named Mike. We'll make fun of Al for you in long form.
He's getting lunch at Chipotle. The tortillas
in the race.
Kim Kardashian, Sigourney Weaver, Rush. R-E-S-P-I-C-T. They're all jitty. R-E-S-P-I-C-T. There's no real conflict. Resist. We must. Resist. Just a little bit. We must. Just a little bit. We must. Just a little bit. And we will much about that. Just a little bit. Be committed.
Love the Rev. The Rev is an important part of the show. Tortillas in the race.
Zachariah Chubb's next on the list from Ludell, Kansas, 333.69. No jingles, no karma. This is my birthday shout out to my human resource, America. She turns 2 on the 5th. That's a nice, actually interesting and nice name. Also, happy birthday to you, JCD. Enjoy the break, boys. You've earned it.
Oh, thank you.
Sam 1 in Palo Alto, California, 333.33. Credit is Sam 1. Got it. Kevin Battinger in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 333.33. I don't have a note from him, and I looked, and I couldn't find one.
I'm still looking. I do not see one either. I'll check. Do one
Donald
more check.
DeHart's next on the list from Clarksville, Tennessee, 333. This completes my knighthood with 1.33 to add to Adam's penny jar.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's going in your direction, so we have 133 pennies in there.
Nice. Got it.
Would be used by other people. April 3rd marks my 46th trip around the sun. This seemed a perfect time to donate.
Nice.
I request Glenn Fittich at the round table. If it please the Peerage Committee, I would like to be known as Sir Don of Heart. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so he needs a...
karma.
Just a karma. You got it. No problem. See you at the table there, future Sir Don.
Karma.
Dame Jennifer over there in Charleston, South Carolina.
What is she doing?
Sitting there working her butt off, 269.69.
And gentlemen, she's available.
Happy birthday, John. Thank you both for day. I think somebody says, please credit to Dame. I wonder if it's from her or somebody else.
Oh.
Happy birthday, John. Thank you both for the dating karma during my last, I guess it was from her. AEP donation has been a very fun month. HR is still accepting applications. In case any locals missed it, we're having 2 meetups here in Charleston on Sunday, April 11th, part of SUNY's cross-country road trip mentioned on Thursday's show, on Friday, May 7th. Check noagendameetups.com for details and to RSVP. Thank you for the sanity. Enjoy your well-deserved time off. XOXO loves and kisses, Dame Jennifer.
Oh, thank you, Dame Jennifer.
Rain, 254.33. Rain's the one who wrote the note about Jakarta.
Yes. Oh, that was, yeah. And that was, I read the whole thing this morning. It was a nice note.
First things first.
I like how you skirted around it.
About what?
That was all in her note, wasn't it? Her report and her donation wasn't all one note?
No, it was separate. It was on the PDF. So, if you click on the PDF, it's separate.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, sorry.
First things first, D-douchey. D-douchey?
D-douchey.
You've been D-douched.
No Agenda has been an island of sanity and a sea of bullshit. Thank you for all the epic work you both do, and to the No Agenda community for the continued and reliable reality checks. Today's my 26th birthday. No better way to celebrate than to donation to the best podcast in the universe. Also, happy birthday to John tomorrow.
Aww.
My donation of 25433, meaning 2, equals because it's been too long since I donated. It's a pun. 5 for John's birthday, 4 for my birthday, and 33 because of the magic number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently visiting Bali, as we noted, Indonesia, and have Boots on the Ground report. Yes, we read it. It has been like traveling and to do forced quarantining abroad. This section makes my note longer. Okay, well, it came in separately. I think some travel karma would be a good idea.
Travel karma. Travel karma, you bet.
You've got karma.
Makes a difference.
It does.
Sir Kevin of the Burning River in North Olmsted, Ohio, $250. The river in Cognac was on fire once. There's a river that goes through Cognac.
It was on fire?
Yeah, I think it was in the 70s. The Martel warehouse.
Oh, they had a leak?
Well, it caught on. The warehouse caught on fire, kind of blew up, and all the burning Cognac went into the river.
Oh, my.
And it took until probably about 5 or 6 years ago, just recently.
It was still burning?
That Martel built up enough stocks again that they could still make some of their finer cognacs.
Oh,
they were pretty dead in the water with their cognac for a long time.
Yeah, because you build up a 25-year or longer stock,
you have 20, 30, 40-year stocks that you use for blending.
Do they not have a backup at a different data center? Were they 3D printing your cognac? No.
That one of these days.
Yeah.
That's what the Chinese will do.
Mm-hmm.
This is Sir Kevin of the Burning River. It's been a while since I donated. Here's a portion of the Uncle Sleepy Joe's bucks. Thank you for that. We always appreciate anyone giving us the government money. Yes. I am assured it will go for positive use, of course. Hopefully better than it would if I had spent it. Okay. All right.
Mark, thank you very much, Sir Kevin. Mark Hanson's of Peachtree Corners, Georgia, $233.33. In the morning, my dudes. Jingle Sleepy, little kid Sleepy Joe, little girl Boom Shakalaka, little girl Yay. And while I have donated before, it was many moons ago. As such, I am afraid I find myself in douchebaggery. Also, with my previous donations, I never requested de-douching, much to my chagrin. I cannot in good conscience host the next Atlanta Local 404 meetup at my house whilst I carry such a shameful status. Yes, it's like worse than not getting the vaccine. Therefore, I ask that you please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
With that, I can carry on feeling fresh and confident. I would like to give birthday shouts to 3 of my human resources. Micah, turning 16 on April 6th. Kayla, turning 28 on April 8th. And Kayla's human resource, my sweet granddaughter, Lily, who turns 5 on April 12th. The jingles are in Lily's honor. Lastly, if you care to read this on the air, a little Christian culture and Bible facts. Yes, we always enjoy that. The 3 T's, time, talent, and treasure. Yes. Has been used by churches at least since I became a Christian in 1991. Also, one might say that the value for value model was established by the Apostle Paul. He wrote in 2 Corinthians 9, verse 7, "So let each one give as he purposes in his heart, not grudgingly or of necessity or compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. It is in this spirit that I gladly support the best podcast in the universe." Yes, we were thinking of that snappy slogan. So let each one give his purposes in his heart, not grudgingly or necessity of compulsion. And we thought time, talent, treasure worked a little bit better. But yes, it's actually...
I like a cheerful giver.
This has been used by nonprofit organizations, as was pointed out. I didn't come up with this. My beautiful wife told me about it, Tina the Keeper. And she says, yeah, this has been used, although I've never seen it. I cannot recall a time when time, talent, treasure was used. So, sorry, church, we've just co-opted it, but it feels like we can share it as long as we register the trademarks differently. So, you didn't ask for anything else. I want to give him a karma for that. Thank you very much, Mark.
You've got karma.
He did ask for stuff.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Yay!
There you go, Lily. We did him for
girls.
Yes.
Herb Lamb, the Duke of the Deep South in Sugar Hill, Georgia. $229.85.
Yeah, you mean one of those racist guys down there?
It's Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, all racist.
Happy birthday, John. This is 2 boobs and a swazzle nut for your birthday. 8.08 plus 8.08 plus 6969.
Nice.
Oh, nice. It's
Excellent.
No, it's actually, no, it's not 2 boobs. It's 4 boobs.
Yeah, it's or 2 big ones.
Well, it's 4. Well, not that big. It's 4 boobs. Okay, 4 boobs is better than 2. I think that this is only my second executive producer credit ever, but today I become a Duke. If it's acceptable to the Peerage Committee, I would like to claim that he has been he donates constantly, but it's not up at this level. I claim the title of Duke of the Deep South. No jingles, just jobs karma for all. Thanks for the years of outstanding analysis, and enjoy your much-deserved vacations.
So he's not
Best
actually
regard.
not actually on the list. So let me. Or is he? Let me see. Sir Lamb. That's interesting.
But
no, there was no titles at all, so I'm putting him right in. Make sure we get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, he gets upgraded.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're
I
good.
thought he maybe it was Earl. I can't remember what his previous title was.
Okay. He's Duke now.
But anyway, he will get it today. You get it. Get up. You're up.
You got it.
Sir Luke, the Baron of London, is next, and he's in Great Britain, the UK, in London, 1234. Hi, gents. Greeting from Gitmo, London, where finally we seem to be unlocking slowly.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I don't know. The great commentary has kept me going while not being able to work. Please give me some karma for and mention my cycle event, Where's Cambridge, happening this Monday. Keep up the great work, Sir Luke of London.
You bet, ma'am. Good luck with your cycling event. Where's Cambridge? Extra plug.
You've got karma.
Sandy Witten in Birmingham, Alabama, 210.98. Thanks for what you do. Now go and enjoy a well-earned vacation. Just the karma, please. Sandy.
You got it, Sandy. You got it.
You've got karma.
Combat Rock of the Idaho Highlands, 20202. Jingles, WTC7. Manning Morning Shot. It's true. Rebelizer. ITM, gentlemen, today I joined the distinguished realm of... Maybe that's what he meant. The distinguished realm of the No Agenda Knights. I request to henceforth be referred to as Sir Combat Rock of the Idaho Highlands. For the round table, I humbly request haggis, we've had it before, and a dram of the finest smoked single malt from the island of Isla. Lagavulin 16. Okay.
Jeez.
I know you hear it from all the producers, but it can't be overstated how valuable your amygdala shrinking message continues to be in these dark times of you know the thing. Sorry, I had a Sleepy Joe moment there. Brother. These jokes, these jobs karma continue to work from my last donation where I mentioned my custom rifle business. Ah, yes, BenfieldPrecision.com.
Oh, you know, I looked at that.
He's a gun guy.
Oh my goodness, I can't afford that. He's got expensive stuff.
He makes world-class weaponry.
Like $15,000. Okay.
BenfieldPrecision.com. With return on my value from some of the production placed orders for the No Agenda themed rifles.
Wow.
We got 33 over this. We got to look for those.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the newsletter. Give me send me a picture.
Send me a gun.
When complete photos will be up on the Insta. Okay, they're not up yet. And in a social. Happy birthday, John. And turn those speakers down.
Does he want new jobs, Karma, or just these? Just this sequence of jingles? We'll give him a call.
I would say he works so well for him. I'm sending him a guy that does what he does. I'd have to give him some more jobs, Karma.
WTC 7 won't go away.
That's a show enough money shot. Woo, Jesus. Woo, Lord. Look at that. That's a money shot. Kellyanne Conway and her money shot.
That's true.
India, Tango, Mike, stand by. 33, 33, 33. Rubbilizer out.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
2 to go with Sir Daddy Cast, Baron of the COTU in Richmond, Virginia, $201. Congratulations, gentlemen, on some well-deserved time off. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Today was, yesterday was 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's right.
Actually, today is 4, 3, 2, 1 in Europe.
No, today it's 4, 4 everywhere, as far as I know.
Oh, no, I mean, yes. Oh, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 4. Oh, you're right.
What?
What was I thinking?
I don't know. Your birthday's tomorrow. Does that help?
What? It was somebody says to me, I'm getting these calls, you know, and they're hanging up on me. You know, these guys are, Apple's calling you because your iCloud account is screwed up and you got to fix it.
And your business is at risk of closing because you're not in Google's database.
And your Social Security number's been canceled.
And you better get the extended warranty on your vehicle because it's expired.
And you get a free cruise.
and we have a special on the pharmacy shipping. Oh, really?
So I have not been able to latch on to these guys. They hear me or something and they hang up. They've been hanging up on me.
Yeah.
So Jace listens in and I'm trying to record one of these for the show. And she listens, says, you should answer with the more of a, they're looking for dumb old people.
Suckers. Suckers.
Dumb old people. You got to sound older. So, well, what? Okay. Congratulations, gentlemen, on some well-deserved time off. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Special shout out to the Phi Delts at Washington and Lee. John, you have a sweetheart. Oh, I'm sorry. Sweatshirt. Big difference. My son, a new active, I guess is, I don't know what that means.
He's pledging. He's
a pledge. Ran into a no agenda listener among the Phi Delt brothers. The Phi Delt brothers. No Agenda Nation's alive and well on the campus, giving, as a Washington and Lee. It's a good school. Giving is love and love is giving. Hope the NA Brotherhood can show more love to the Daddy Cast Rewind podcast. Sir Daddy Cast, Baron of the COTU and CNJ.
Get on that podcasting 2.0 train, Daddy Cast.
And then we're good to go.
That's all. That's where all the love is.
The last on the list is, what, did we have anything for him?
No, I don't think so. But other than a thank you.
He said no jingles, no karma.
Yeah.
Nicole Jackson's last in Paso Robles, California for $200. Shout out to my husband, James Jackson, his 35th birthday, and his 35th birthday. He loves you guys and has been listening for over a year now. April 7th is his birthday.
Aww.
I know it will make it this day. Okay.
It'll be even better if you're there when he hears it.
Okay, it says I know this will make this day is what it said, but what she meant was I know this will make his day.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Cold reads are difficult.
So, James, look behind you. Yeah, she's got a nice outfit on, right? All planned in advance. Enjoy.
And that's our group of producers and executive producers and associate executive producers on show 1335.
Yes, thank you
Nice.
all
Thanks.
so much. Yeah, and the notes weren't too long, not too many jingles. I would say this is a perfect donation segment. This was well run, well produced, producers. Excellent job. And these titles are also deserved. Executive producer, subsequently associate executive producer of episode 1335 of the No Agenda. So best podcast in the universe. Thanks. This is great. This is a great send-off for us. We will be back, in the Sunday show after this. Am I saying? No, the Thursday. So we're off Thursday, off Sunday. We'll be back on the Thursday after that. We will miss you all. And we'll also be thanking producers who came in $50 and above in our second segment. If you would like to support us, we have two special shows. We have the climate change special, which John put together. That'll be on Thursday. Then on Sunday, it'll be Adam's Stories, which is the companion piece to John's Stories, which we played the last time we went away for vacation, which was, in fact, 15 months ago. And if you'd like to do anything about that, please go to our donation page. It's handy. You can remember it by singing the jingle.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Just to make sure we didn't miss anybody.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And thank you once again for your time, your talent, your treasure for producing episode 1335 of No Agenda.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
What do we like to do?
Shut up, slave. Shut up, slave.
Little twist.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when we were talking about Tucker Carlson, that he was getting kind of deplatformed? Well, he has no advertisers anymore. He has
still got the pillow.
He's got MyPillow.com and Ameritech. Because, the cup phone, there's nothing like it.
They also sandals.
I like the cup phone from Ameritech.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They must make so much money on those things. Those guys advertise a lot. And I said that clearly the future for him is Fox Nation. And the prognostication came true. He's doing 3 shows a week on Fox Nation, which is a streaming app. And I was watching him yesterday with he had an hour-long chat with, and it's an hour-long chat with, was it Nussbaum, whatever the crazy guy was. It was about, we played him on the last show. And it was about the vaccines, not one size fits all. That's what it was. Not one size fits all. That guy's name was Nurchasm, Human Nurchasm. And I'm watching this and I realize, oh my God, it's so obvious what he's done. 3 times a week, no commercial interruptions, relaxed studio setting, which looks like it's at his ranch somewhere, although there is a traditional desk. He's doing Rogan. He's completely doing Rogan. He saw Rogan go off to Spotify, and he's like, okay, I'm going to stream this, and I'm going to stream it on Fox Nation, and he's getting paid for it. And it's interesting person, sit him down, talk until you're done, not 3 hours. But the format, he's totally co-opted that format.
Well, it's not much of a format to co-opt.
I know. Format. I know, but but how many people are doing it? As far Rogan's doing it, who else is doing?
I think Ruben does the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Ruben does it too, yeah. I was just surprised that it's like that's his future. I don't know about the how long the Fox television network will last.
The problem with I watched these things, and his real gift is, and it's not, I don't know if it's his gift or it's the writers. He's got some dynamite writers. There's no way he could do this every day. But on the regular show, he does an editorial right at the top, kind of like O'Reilly used to
I'm
do.
Sure he writes. That's what he writes, I'm sure.
Oh, he can't read. No,
you don't think so?
The last one I saw him do is too long. It's too well structured. It has to be written by a team. I mean, if he did it once a week, I could say, he could do that. But day after day, it's like, the monologues on those nighttime shows. You need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 writers to put that together. Otherwise, you just can't. You can't produce that much. It's not possible unless you can if you're a CIA guy
right.
and the agency's writing for you. But unless you're that guy, and I know the CIA is not writing for him, so I think that's his best material. Some of it, I listened to one the other day. It was quite good. His ranting about the Major League Baseball leaving the Atlanta moving the All-Star game. He had a great rant about it. It was outstanding. He talked about the bogus arguments about they've changed the law. In fact, I bring him up. I should have brought him up when he brought the clip up. The left said, well, now they're trying to screw everybody so they can't vote. You can't bring them water in line, which is not true.
Also not true.
At 5 o'clock, it closes when all the working class people need to go to the polls. And no, it closes at 7. That was a lie. I mean, the whole thing, everything they've said is a lie about this. Is actually, just
manipulate, intimidate, dominate. That's the only thing they know how to do. That's what the Democratic Party does. They go into any state. They don't care about the people, don't care about who's going to lose money. And they bring in their corporate goombas. You know what? I'm going to start boycotting corporations, too. We have a Chase Bank account. Tina and I were just talking about it. We're canceling that. We're moving all our money to the community bank. What's it called? The credit union. Screw these guys. All our money. Screw these guys. All her money.
Number of small banks in Austin that would be nice to use.
Anything but those guys. They're out. And I won't drink Coca-Cola products. Yeah. Anyone who's virtue signaling as a corporation, yeah, you're on my hit list now. I don't need you.
I think we need to put together and publish a blacklist.
Ooh, a blacklist.
Why not?
Yeah.
The no agenda blacklist.
Yeah.
I mean, unless somebody comes up with a real good reason we shouldn't do that, I think we should.
I think we should have a better name, though.
The blacklist.
It's kind of a problem. I mean,
let's do a reverse of it, a freedom list.
Freedom list. I like that. Freedom list. And so freedom list is people we do support?
No. The freedom list is people we don't support. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Otherwise,
whatever it says, it's the opposite.
Okay. Hold on a second. Freedom list. I'm going as fast as I can. Damn it. Someone already has freedomlist.com. How about IO? You want IO or org?
Org is better.
I don't think we can get org.
Well, org is good.
Shoot.
Well, we'll work on it. Don't worry. You got to take your vacation. I want to play this clip before we get too far into the next segment.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I do want to plug the next show coming up. I've got 2 clips from the global warming show.
Mm-hmm.
Old clips, and I wanted to play them. This is the old global. I put this into the thing. This is Kaplan Lear, the Lear Foundation group that's writing
from the Hollywood. What are they called? They have a certain name. Yeah, but anyway, the Norman Lear Foundation, the Hollywood arm, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's that Kaplan is the head guy, and here he's talking about manipulating for global warming stories.
We have a brand new aspect of Hollywood Health and Society, which is to work
Hollywood Health and Society
on the topic of climate change.
Change.
Again, all these different activities, writer briefings, screenings, newsletters, and so on, are an attempt to provide free resources to writers who want to include climate change as one of the storylines that they're working on. And just to give you an example of that climate change work, a few weeks ago, there was a field trip. We do something called story bus tours to the JPL NASA lab in Pasadena, where we brought something like 37 writers and producers to experience the most amazing stuff that they have going on to inspire them in this area and to be factually accurate.
I think he said JTL for JPL, which I
really?
Odd.
Oops.
That's factually accurate. Here's another clip from that's going to be in the big special. It's over almost 2.5 hours of clips.
Yes.
And this is the one. This is about global warming and sex.
Ooh, I don't even remember this one.
There are so many different things that can dampen your sex drive. You're tired, you have a headache, the kids are bugging you. And now here's another one to add to the list. Global warming. That's right, climate change can kill your mojo. So researchers looked at really hot days and then looked forward 9 months. And what they found is fewer babies were born 9 months after those hot days. They defined really hot days as being over 80 degrees. Those hot days made couples feel, well, maybe not so hot. The impact was pretty sizable. In the United States, they found that the impact of one hot day meant 1,100 fewer births 9 months later. When you look at the whole United States, we have about 30 days days a year where the temperature climbs above 80. However, as global warming takes its toll, it's predicted that we could have 90 days a year where the temperature climbs that high. That could mean eventually in the United States, 100,000 fewer births every year. And because of global warming, it's just getting hotter. Now, once the weather cooled off, couples did get back to coupling, but still it didn't make up for the decreases during the hot months. So it turns out global warming is not just bad for our oceans and our crops, it's also bad for our sex lives.
Can you believe this? And by the way, how does that apply to Africa? I'd like to know.
Yeah, sadly.
There's a hate series premiering on PBS that is just, I don't know what to make of it, but they're trying to deconstruct hate in this country. And you can see it's biased a little bit right from the get-go. This is the part one of I have two clips from it's about a 10-minute thing. I only took a couple of short clips just to point out the kind of bias within the whole structure. Hate series, PBS.
Last week, the heads of Facebook, Twitter, and Google testified before Congress on how their platforms handle disinformation and the spread of extremism online. The tech giants all say they do attempt to limit the spread of extremist speech and conspiracy theories and block accounts trafficking in hate and violence. But special correspondent Simon Ostrovsky found some of these groups are finding new ways to push their false narratives. This report is part of our ongoing initiative exploring hate, anti-Semitism, racism, and extremism.
For many, the failed January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol seemed like the high watermark for a dangerous cocktail of right-wing ideologies that flourished during the Trump era.
Oh yeah, okay. This is good. This is good. How many part series? How many part series is this?
Well, I only have two of the clips. The problem I have with it is so bigoted.
Of course.
What do they mean by the failed attack? Failed to do what?
It failed. Well, okay, if you listen to the narrative, and I have not seen the special, but I've seen it everywhere, these people tried to overthrow the U.S. government. This was not, they tried to stop the legal election of Joe Biden as the president. They failed thanks to the heroics of Sandy Ocasio-Cortez. So when it was failed, that means they didn't complete the insurrection. You see, they did not take over the government. That's how sad this is. That's their narrative. That's their narrative.
Well, that shows you that they already have preconceived notions about everything. Let's play the second part, which has a couple more of these little gems.
But for hardcore supporters of the 45th president, the insurrection represented the beginning of a new resistance movement, a movement that's found new life on a platform all too familiar in the age of the lockdown, Zoom.
Hi, I'm Judy from Nebraska. President Trump is going to act, and you need to help him act. You need to get yourselves ready, get food, water, and get your households in order. The military is getting called up.
Conference calls like this one, recorded a week before the inauguration, feature both leaders of the so-called Patriot movement.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
As well as thousands of rank-and-file adherents of the conspiracy theories that once teamed on Twitter and Facebook, dialing in from home.
We're ready to take action.
Thank you.
You all need to get ready.
Okay, just hold on. Hold on. We're going to do this. We're going to do this orderly.
Moderating it all is Carla Dean Graves, an unassuming Kansas City family doctor and self-professed member of the anti-government John Birch Society, who first started organizing these Standing Strong Together conferences as Joe Biden emerged as winner of the 2020 race.
Did I tell you about that? The piece that came out about me in Holland and the John Birch Society?
I want to hear it, but I have a thought on this, what he said.
Go ahead.
The John Birch Society, which was probably at its peak in the 70s, and it's probably the late 60s and 70s. And we had a local store around here, as a John Birch Society bookstore. And we had a John Birch Society guy who ran a pharmacy. They had all the bumper stickers on the front. You know, get the U.S. out of the UN. Communism was one of my favorites. Impeach Earl Warren.
Yeah.
They're all of them. So if you look up the John Birch Society in the Wikipedia, and I could read from it, I'm not going to, but I'll just say this. The John Birch Society started off as an anti-communist operation. It was just about communism, and they bitched and moaned about the communist influence, which we have today, more than probably back in the 70s, if you really want to look at it objectively. And that's pretty much what they were. They were anti-communist was number one. If it's in the wiki, it says number one, anti-communist, and the second thing was limited government. It wasn't anti-government like this guy says.
No.
The John Birch Society was not anti-government. They weren't anarchists. That's the left. The left has anarchists. They're anti-government. This is bull crap.
This was, I want to say it's a couple months ago. A friend of mine he was major mainstream radio guy, television guy, and he started a podcast, and I explained value to value. He took the value for value model, and he's off to the races. His name is Robert Jensen. Very popular. And very no agenda-esque, but completely tailored towards the Netherlands. And he's getting a lot of attention, even though at a certain point, he took himself off of YouTube, and it was a big deal. And then there was a report that the military was investigating people visiting his website. I mean, they did crazy stuff. So this left-leaning newspaper, and I've been on the show a couple of times. I helped him set this up. I've been on the left-leaning newspaper reached out to both of us, and it was in Dutch, so I won't read it all, but the crux was, are you aware that everything you're saying completely mirrors the John Birch Society, a known racist organization, blah, 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 blah. Dutch lady, right? Dutch. And they wrote this whole article about how we were the neo-John Birch Society, coming from the Dutch.
What kind of insanity is this?
Yeah, well, please.
Wow, I didn't know this story. This is new to me.
Yeah, it was Dutch, and I forgot about it, Hey, by the way, freedomlist.io is up and running. And I have JP Morgan Chase, Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, AWS. I put Pfizer on. I think Pfizer should be on there.
Oh, yeah.
Pfizer, bunch of dicks. They're not pro-freedom. I'll just keep this list up. Anytime we want to add something to it, just give me a shout, and it's easy to put in there. So, but what you're identifying is part of the danger. This is how they always will try. They think they're keeping Orange Man bad at bay and threatening anybody who considers themselves to be MAGA or just not all in on whatever's happening now. And it's the whole, we're coming after you, domestic violent extremists. And they thought they had another one, man. They were all jacked up. It was, oh my goodness, we've got a great story. It's going to be fantastic.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. We're following breaking news. Another deadly assault at the U.S. Capitol just some 3 months after the January 6th insurrection. One Capitol police officer is dead. Another wounded after an attacker rammed them with his vehicle, crashed into a barrier, and charged out of the car with a knife. The deceased officer has just been identified as William Evans, an 18-year member of the force. Police then shot the suspect, now identified as 25-year-old Noah Green, who later died at the hospital. Authorities won't reveal anything about a potential motive, at least not yet, but they do say the attack does not, at least for now, does not appear to be terrorism, and that Green was not known to U.S. Capitol Police. In a painful reminder of the January 6th attack, the D.C. National Guard was immediately deployed to try to secure the scene as the Capitol building went into complete lockdown. Let's get straight to CNN's Brian Todd. He's over at the Capitol. He's joining us right now. Brian, another sad, awful day here in the nation's capital.
Another. So he's ready to connect it. He's ready. Oh, this is great. We got another one of these DVEs. Noah Green, the suspect, who law enforcement sources say rammed his car into 2 U.S. Capitol police officers on Friday, posted on social media in the weeks before the attack that he had lost his job and suffered medical ailments, and said he believed the federal government was targeting him with mind control. It's one of my favorites. The U.S. government is the #1 enemy of black people, a caption on one video read. In another post on the Instagram account, Green wrote last week he believed Farrakhan had saved him after the terrible afflictions he has suffered, presumably by the CIA and FBI, government agencies of the United States of America. Responding to a comment, Noah Green wrote, "I have suffered multiple home break-ins, food poisonings, assaults, unauthorized operations in the hospital, mind control." In his Facebook post, Green wrote he had been unknowingly taking a drug and suffering from side effects. Green described himself as a follower of the Nation of Islam and its founder, Louis Farrakhan, and spoke of going through a difficult time where he leaned on his faith. And here it comes. According to the recent messages posted online that have since been taken down. The messages were captured by Site, S-I-T-E. There's our shills once again. I've been waiting for them to pop back up, because when it's terrorism, you know Site is on the case, S-I-T-E. These guys are no good. So the narrative didn't fit. Big problem. He was not a crazy MAGA guy. He says the government's the enemy of the black people. So the reporting stopped. Here's what I'd like to know. Now that we've had two crazy shootings. We had the Colorado attack, the King Snoopers, also Muslim, or he was Muslim, I think, this other guy, Nation of Islam, so Muslim, whatever, they're in that realm. Not mentioned loudly in the M5M reports is that the supermarket attacked in Colorado, the King Soopers, is a Jewish supermarket, and the gunman drove 20 to 30 miles past many others to get to that one specifically. And yes, Jews in Colorado are shaken and frightened after the slaughter at the supermarket, writes the Washington Free Beacon. So this guy, back to the Pentagon guy, so he was on some kind of drug, he has the government talking to him, is he just nuts? Or, my question, did either of these gentlemen, or both of them, by any chance, take the vaccine?
Yeah. Well, I think they should be the media should be asking that question.
Remember,
we can't do it.
It could be his number. It could become Trump's vaccine in a heartbeat if these people are going nuts over it. And we've seen pharmaceuticals that drive people crazy. Chantix. We've seen a lot of Chantix stuff. The smoking cessation drug.
I think with the millions of people that are taking this vaccine, I think we'd have a few more shootings.
Well, we didn't have any before the vaccine. I'm just saying. We also didn't have any before Joe Biden.
We'll put it on the list of things to follow.
Yeah.
But back to your thesis about they're doing everything they can. It's hard to believe that they're so freaked out about Trump that they have to just go after every Trump thing there is to kind of keep them at bay. It's 4 years from now.
No, I don't think they're freaked out. I think they're doing it for the ratings. They need the ratings.
Well, there is a ratings thing, but I'm going to get back to this Gates thing, the Florida
yes. Oh, my God. I looked into this. You were so right to bring this up. Even I have a clip.
Oh, well, Gates was, the only thing you find, he apparently paid a hooker. And this is like some scandal, and maybe the hooker was underage because God knows you've never seen it.
No,
you may have more than I do, but
yes,
I just want to play Dana Bash.
Good old CNN. Yeah, good old Dana.
Because she comes on and she just makes she without saying anything or making any real accusations, it's just innuendo to the max, and it's really disgusting. Listen to this.
Joining us now, CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash. She's co-anchor of State of the Union. Also with us, senior political analyst Nia Malika Henderson. It is great to see you both. So, Dana, let me start with you. What is the atmosphere in Congress around Gates? This guy was so tight with President Trump, but it doesn't exactly seem like his Republican colleagues are rallying.
Can you stop it for a second? I'm going to do a tease on this. Now, somebody's behind this whole thing.
Yeah, I think I have this info.
Well, there's a name that crops up that who I think's behind it.
Levinson?
But, okay, continue playing the clip.
This guy was so tight with President Trump, but it doesn't exactly seem like his Republican colleagues are rallying to his defense.
Not in the least. If you could see my text messages from some of his current and former colleagues, I actually can't repeat what some of them say on morning television. And it's because he has not made himself popular with most of his colleagues. And again, we're talking about his fellow Republicans, John. We're talking about people who he has antagonized in the name of being, as beholden and as loyal to the former president Donald Trump as possible, in the name of being on conservative media, being on Fox News, being the darling of that. And the most striking example of that was after the number 3 in his own party leadership, Liz Cheney, voted to impeach President Trump. He went to Wyoming and taunted her. He went to Wyoming and had a big rally. And look, that was certainly not the first time he made enemies out of people in his own Republican conference, but it was the most recent and certainly the most egregious in the eyes of many of them.
What a puppet. All in on the deplatforming of this guy. So obvious. Well, you want to hear what the story is, what I found out?
Yeah, I'd be love to hear what you found out.
Okay. So as I kind of guessed, this is about his dad, not about him, but he is the loser in this. So his father, Don Gates, is a former Florida State Senate president, and he was trying to help the family of an FBI guy, I think Robert Levinson, who was being held hostage, trying to get him back. In fact, there was a whole government. The government was at least aware of the Project Homecoming, and this is now all available online. Most of it's been posted, and there was $25 million involved, which I think his father, Don Gates, was trying to help raise. The Israeli government or the Israeli embassy was in on this. So it was this former FBI agent, I think, turned private investigator, Robert Levinson. Not sure exactly what he was doing, but he was in Iran. But I don't think he was an endorsed spook, because they basically gave up on him. And his family were so mad, they started threatening Matt Gates' father, Don, and said, look, if you don't help us, if we don't get this done, we're going to start exposing your son for the douchebag that he is. Now, what does that mean? I'm not exactly sure. It sounds like he paid for a hooker and he banged her and took pictures and showed it to his buddies and ha, 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 ha. However, here's where it gets weird. There's another person involved in this. Jake Novak, who is the media director of the Israeli consulate, was sharing messages about this story, which have now been published, with Scott Adams. Scott Adams is involved in this, giving advice what he thinks. What the hell is going on? So what Jake Novak did is he sent to Scott, and by the way, Scott, may I recommend to you, I'll read you first what the guy wrote. Scoop I can't report. Representative Gates is the subject of a secret grand jury probe of sex with minors and possibly murder conspiracy. I trust the source. Charges/accusations apparently very credible. And then this is, and they have the screenshots of Scott Adams and this guy talking back and forth. A recommendation for Scott. Dude, stay away from this stuff. Stay away from people who are trying to give you scoops. If anyone texts you and says scoop, block them. I think Scott Adams is playing with fire here if he's doing this kind of stuff. So I have two clips. Let me see. One that shows us, being no agenda Gitmo Nation dwellers, that this is bullshit.
The most flamboyant and bombastic pro-Trump Republican congressman in Washington, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, reportedly under federal criminal investigation for alleged child sex trafficking. As we reported last night, the local Republican elected official whose case apparently led investigators to Congressman Gaetz, Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, he was hit just yesterday with a superseding federal indictment, bringing the number of federal felony charges he's now facing to 33.
So you know something's up. Come on, people.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is
that's a good clip.
And I think Gates, he looks really worried because he knows it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And so what?
Well, they're not going to let up on that. I mean, the Democrats.
No, he's done. He's done. They would love to get him out. But what really is going on with this former FBI guy held hostage in Iran that no one wants to touch? There's something really dirty about that. And the 25 million and the Israelis are in on it. Maybe. What's happening? And why is this not a government operation? Is this something that was sketched to start with? So it's
this is you've opened more questions than solved with answers. It just seems it's gonna develop. It'll develop into something.
I have Claire.
I agree with you. By the way, if some guy comes, this is like. It's almost like believing different people that have all these crazy theories.
Claire McCaskill had to slam him.
This is only a federal case if they can prove that money or interstate communications were used to entice or pay someone 17 years old or younger. If it's older than 17, then this becomes a local prosecutor. This becomes...
Again, in the United States of America, for some reason... If you want to get rid of somebody, just tell them they did something wrong with their penis. And by the way, he may have totally trafficked in some underage girl. I don't know. That's totally possible. And
what is when you say traffic?
Well, that means it's the same thing as Epstein. That's why we're allowed to say it now.
Yeah, but Epstein did take women across the U.S. border onto an island.
Even cross state lines. If she's underage. Then it can
I understand what the laws are.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's not like he's driving them. They make it sound like he's got a bus.
Yes.
And he goes picking up all these girls and he's driving and trafficking them to the bunch of pimps in Florida.
Yes, it's a lot better than saying, well, he might have been with an underage girl. It's better if you say trafficked. Come on.
I think it's worse.
That's better for the story. That's my point.
Oh, yes, it's better for the story. Yeah, he's a sex
trafficker. That's what they're doing. They have nothing.
These people are liars.
They have nothing. They don't know anything other than that she might have been 17. Boom. Let's pull out the Epstein thing. Let's call it trafficking, depending on the state, obviously. And even then, is 17 illegal? I don't know.
In Florida? I mean, you look it up.
Wait a minute. If I recall from the Epstein, who didn't kill himself, what I recall from the Epstein case is it may be legal for fornication at 17, but there is something about the taking across state lines that could be seen as trafficking. It's total technicality bullshit. They want this guy gone. Personally...
He's a troublemaker.
I like Matt Gaetz. I don't think he's that effective. He's not a big...
I don't think he's as good as Jim Jordan for that sort of thing at all.
What has Gaetz actually done? He's a big talker, and I like it. He's got all the right noise. He seems to like appearing on TV a lot. But has he done any... any meaning legislation?
No, he's not like he's not like Klobuchar, who actually has a lot of stuff she's done.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why she comes up all of a sudden. Why is Klobuchar the opposite of Matt Gaetz?
When you talk about someone who's an effective effective legislator, Klobuchar is at the top of the list.
Yeah,
I looked into her thinking she was going to become vice president but she got sidelined by the need to put a black woman in. But she was she's got a great record. She's a jerk, and she throws staplers at her office help. But
let's see what has he done anything? Has he done any? I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. Has he put anything forward into law? They've got to have that on the Wikipedia page, wouldn't they? No, they have controversies, drunk driving, speeding tickets, association with...
Yeah, well, the left-wing Wikipedia would have that for sure.
Yeah, glorifying violence on Twitter. possible ethics violations. Oh, my goodness. But they do not have, no, they don't really have any legislation that he's done. Maybe he hasn't done crap. Who knows? Wouldn't surprise me. I got an important note for you from producer Brian. We were talking about the K2 with the D3.
Yeah.
The mixture of how much D3 to take with vitamin K2.
Yeah.
And here it is. 100 micrograms of K2 for every 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3.
Seems like a lot.
Well, he says the K2 will work in combination with the D3 to ensure the calcium in your food will go where it belongs in your bones. 10,000 IUs of D3 is perfectly safe to take daily. It's the equivalent of standing outside in the sun for 15 to 20 minutes. And by the way, neither John or I are a doctor.
We don't recommend dosages.
We don't recommend.
We just tell you some of the things we might be
we might
playing
be
with for our own benefits.
for our own experimentation.
That recording that Horowitz plays.
Say what?
Horowitz plays a recording of when we start to talk about stock tips, you have to play a disclaimer.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, that you're invested or not invested.
Actually, you recorded one for him that I thought was quite good, but it got lost somehow in the system. We have a new one.
I think his is at the end of the Disciplined Investor. I do that one.
Oh, okay. That's what. Okay. Yeah, you have read. You read well. All right, onward with what else we got?
Well,
we'll follow Getz.
Yeah,
Gates. They call it Gates. I call him Getz.
I did want to mention one thing about. You remember WinRed? I was looking at WinRed. This is it was the Republican version of Act Blue, where no matter what website you're donating to for whichever Republican politician it goes. Yeah, it went through WinRed, which we found. Yeah, but we found out later that was run by Jared's buddy. And the New York Times did a big piece about how people got duped by this thing. They thought signing up for a one-time money bomb would be $500. Turns out it was $500 a month, and people didn't realize until $3,000 had been deducted. It was very difficult to get it back on. So whether this is true or not, and I totally believe it, and I think Act Blue does the same thing. All of these clearinghouse for political donations are horrible with their double down, triple time, 5x, 7 time, whatever it is. But it looks like a lot of people feel very duped and they've taken them to court over the WinRed.
That's the idea. Take them to court.
Yeah. You never get out of it, I guess. I'll never win.
Brooks. Yeah. Well, I got a clip here. This is, turns out that there's no racism, according to a report.
What?
No racism in the UK.
A UK government-commissioned report has found that country no longer has a system deliberately rigged against ethnic minorities. But as NPR's Frank Langford explains from London, critics say they are disappointed with the report.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson commissioned the report in the wake of Black Lives Matter protests here last spring. The report said that racism remains a, quote, real force in the UK, but that geography, family influence, socioeconomic background, culture, and religion had a more significant impact on life chances than racism. Racial equality campaigners, however, said the report went out of its way to deny that government policies play a role in life outcomes and instead blamed them on the decisions of individuals and families. Rahana Azam, National Secretary for the trade union GMB, said it felt like a, quote, deeply cynical report and called it completely irresponsible and immoral.
Wow. What a joke. It's one of the most racist countries I've ever lived in.
It's pretty bad.
And in your face, too. They don't care. It's just cultural. Black people, they call them darkies. Darkies. They just call people. I'm like, what? What did you say? Yeah, you got any darkies over there? Okay. You should hear them about Indians. Huh. Wow. So this is NPR who's...
Yeah, that was NPR. Good catch.
Way to go, NPR.
You can kind of tell.
Yes, you can. There's no racism in the UK. Clearly, we suck. America's bad. We're racist. Georgia, racist. Trump, racist. MAGA, orange man, racist. Bad. White men, white men, white men. I'm tired of it. If I hear any more anti-white man stuff, I'm calling people out. Seriously. And I've been around people who say this. Well, as a white man, I got to come up with a good response because I can feel that I'm going to pop off. I'm going to blow. I am going to blow. I got to come up with something better. Oh, speaking of blowing. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. We have the camping ban on the ballot here in Austin. As the mayor and city council, now, how long ago was this? Almost 2 years ago, decided we can't forbid our neighbors from camping everywhere. No, they're just temporarily experiencing homelessness. So all of Cesar Chavez, which is right by...
you talked about this in the last show, and I told you to take pictures. Did you take pictures?
Well, I was thinking of it, but a couple things have happened since we last talked. The first thing that happened. Now, you recall that. Let me just finish the story. So there's camping everywhere, right near where we are, East Riverside. It's 5 tents deep on the median on the road. And it's right across from the fast food restaurant. So it's rat infested. It's a mess. It's junk. Some people have built entire bungalows. They're parking their cars there. It's wow. It's all over Austin. And in May on our ballot, we have Prop B, and that is to reinstate the ban because this is not working for anybody. And one of the things that Governor Abbott did is he opened up a 5-acre, I think, piece of land out by the airport where there were facilities people could go camp. And there are about 100 people camping there. And this is what happened.
That breaking news is a fire at a homeless camp. It is the second fire in less than 12 hours that the Austin Fire Department has responded to. This latest fire is at the state-owned property on Bastrop Highway near SH 71. This is by the airport.
Camp is on land owned by the Texas Department of Transportation. The governor set this up.
Now, listen if you can hear the clue as to how this fire started.
For a homeless shelter in November 2019. Candy Rodriguez is live there right now with what we know. Good morning, Candy.
Yeah, Tom and Sally, good morning. And what we know right now is that this fire actually started in the second unit right here. Now, this fire that started a little after 4:20 this morning affected 4 of the 11 units here.
What could have started that fire at 4:20 in the morning? I wonder. I wonder what could have started the fire. But there was a second fire. And this is, if you're in downtown Austin, almost right in front of City Hall, is all these tents. I mean, it's from the Congress Street Bridge to the First Street Bridge and beyond. And this is where people, they're not just camping. They're camping all the way down to the water, Lady Bird Lake, Town Lake. They've got tables, chairs, they're hanging out, having a good time, playing cards. You can't walk on the sidewalk anymore. They are camping on the sidewalk. And there is a beautiful, we used to live right there, a beautiful bell tower, which I didn't know really the history of, but it does have a bell, so it does bell on certain occasions, certain times. And yep.
Right now, breaking news, crews are cleaning up after the historic Buford Fire Tower in the heart of downtown Austin caught fire. This is at Cesar Chavez and Colorado Streets. You're looking at a live picture now. The Austin Fire Department says this fire started at a nearby homeless camp set up along Cesar Chavez Street.
Here's the joke. They're showing the video, the nearby homeless camp. The people are in the shot with their tents. They're 10 feet away from this tower that lit on fire, and they're saying, nearby homeless camp. They're right there.
They tell us the fire is under control now, and AFD says there's mostly damage to the outside of this 91-year-old former fire training tower. It is listed in the National Register of Historic Places.
They burned it down.
So we're leaving. We're leaving. I'm leaving.
No, you said if they passed the law,
No, I'm making an executive decision. We're gonna look for a place to go. We're gonna go out. And we'll stay in Texas. We'll stay in the Austin area, but we're leaving here. Go stew in it, you assholes. Go ahead. And it's because of it's the liberal, and I'm just gonna say it, liberal cowards. You're coward. Behind everyone's back, you say, gosh, it's really horrible. I have to do something about it. But then you don't vote that way. You virtue signal. You're a bunch of cowards.
Yeah, well,
ugh.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to California. I know.
Welcome to California.
I know. You can poo-poo it because you're used to it, but I'm not taking it. I need to stop taking all of this stuff.
I like the idea of the fire tower
catching fire. It's a monument.
Like the control room's out of control.
Firemen. It's a monument to firemen. They put it on fire. Hey, do you have any end of show ISOs? What do we have for ISOs? We need something for the ISOs. Oh, I have one. Here's one.
P.S. Ted Cruz, go fuck yourself.
It's a little long and it's a little too much.
It's a little much.
Too angry.
Yeah, it is quite angry.
Let's go to Hear Me.
Hear Me, okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Ooh, I kind of like that one. What else you have?
That's the pillow guy.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay, so I decided I'm going to go to the well, dig in, and go see what Sophia with an F.
Hold on. Is this for your ISO?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were launching into a whole new clip. Okay.
No, I just telling you the background of the clip.
Ah, gotcha.
Because it's not really part of anything I did on the show, but here she is. Here is the excuse.
Excuse me.
Oh, done. Oh, so good. So good.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Somebody said excuse me, so she said excuse me, and I haven't heard someone say excuse me since the 70s. I don't know where she got that from.
No, we have definitely heard that since the 70s because that was from Wayne's World.
Oh, right. Exactly. You're right. So anyway, that's her saying excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have this a little long, but it's a good one. This is podcast structure.
Podcast structure?
This podcast has no structure.
Ooh, this is very close.
I don't want you to help. I want you to stay safe.
No, it's for me, it's between.
This podcast has no structure. Excuse me.
I think excuse me.
I think I like we'll keep the podcast no structure on deck. I think excuse me is just too good because she's so irritating.
She's the best.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
One of these days she's going to plug our show on her show and we'll pick up another 10,000 listeners.
Yeah.
Well, anything's possible.
Keep dreaming.
We do have a few people to thank for show 1335.
Indeed.
And if I can actually open the spreadsheet, I'll be right on their names, starting with Mark Paget at $135.71. Forrest Tucker, not the actor, but I don't think, unless he moved to Eagle River, Arkansas.
Yeah, you never know.
$4.33.
Never know.
Harvey Smith, $133.69 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Then we have one I can't read because it fills up the whole page and I can't see their name.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. That's Guy Boazzi. Guy
Boazzi. Well, he wrote a long note that we're not going to read. It's a good note.
Yeah, he does want he wants a TPP. Karma will give that to him at the end. It was actually a very thoughtful note, but yeah.
Yeah, it's longer than an average.
But he has been around. He's a baron. He's baron of the shape-shifting Jews. So this guy's been around for a long time supporter.
Yeah. I may put that note in a new webpage of notes.
Do that.
Thomas Hurtado, $100. Joseph Rizzi in Trago, Montana, $100. And he has a douchebag call out. This is from Joseph Rizzi. Douchebag call out. Mom and Dad, you're douchebags.
Douchebag. That's Mom. And here's Dad.
Douchebag. No. Sir John Robinet, $100. Sir Facbass in Houston, Texas, $100. David Russell, 6969. Now, these are all birthday donations for my birthday.
Let me do them. Let me run down.
All right, go.
Everyone has nice little notes. Okay, David Russell, happy birthday from Sir Beach Bum. Todd Strobel, happy birthday, John. He also wants to be on the birthday list. He'll be 58 on the 9th. Sir Dane the Great, happy birthday, John. Andrew Coleman, first-time donor, please de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
Jacob Honan from Chico, Washington, happy birthday. Tom Turner from Salt Lake City, Utah. No note, Tom Turner. These are all 6969. 69, dudes! Says Scott Tweed from Aliso Viejo, California. Happy birthday, John. Ed Warner from Columbia Falls, Montana. Alan Schaff, St. Paul, Minnesota. Happy birthday, JCD. Congratulations on surviving another year. Peace, says Lauren Ball from Slidell, Louisiana. Sir Dodger of the Panhandle and the entire Dodger and Misty, actually, say happy birthday to you from Pensacola, Florida. Giuseppe Conte, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Happy 69th birthday, John, from Joe Conti. Ben Todman, Mountain Riverview, New South Wales, Australia. No note. James Wardlaw from Minnesota. Hey, guys, just open the gates of hell. Blah, 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 blah. Love you, John. Happy birthday. Kevin Niemeyer, South Sioux City. Sir Knight of the East Side, 6969 from White Bear Lake. And he says, for the win, JCD. George Gasper from Glendale, California. He wants some house buying karma. We'll give you that. Also, happy birthday, he says. And stay safe, John. Jay Codicini, Austin, Texas, with a 6969. Nina Jurowitz, 6969. Happy birthday, John. Your last name is properly pronounced Dvorak, like the Czech composer. I can't get used to the Anglo pronunciation of your name, but I'll donate in honor of your birthday anyway.
By the way, that's questionable. Anyway, go on, continue. We'll discuss my pronunciation of my last name some other time.
Duncan Copas from Homer, Illinois, with a 6969. Tara Reese, happy birthday from her. She's in Urbana, Illinois. Adriana Oporto, 6969. A happy birthday from Temecula, California. Gordon Jones from Sikeston, Missouri. Carl Linder says happy birthday from North Carolina. Jean Leclerc, Sir Quidjibou, Laurentius Lausanne, I believe. Happy birthday, John, and long live the best podcast in the universe. And he wants to be added to the birthday list April 10th, where he will enter his fourth decade, Jean Leclerc. Ben Smith of Greenville, Texas, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you. No music was harmed in the creation of this greeting. Sir Chris of the Isle of Wight from Covington, Louisiana. Happy birthday, John. Lake Forest, that's Randy Holcomb, Knight of the AHIS 400. He says, happy birthday, wishing you many more. Jonathan Schroeder from Milan, Illinois says, nice. Mark Pugner, 6969, best wishes from Mark Pugner, say no more. Robert Case, Mill Spring, North Carolina. Happy birthday, John. Baronet Sir Lyman of the Net, Raleigh Hawk. Dame Ashley, Lady of the Lake, says, happy birthday, John. Hope your birthday is as wonderful as you are. Love, Dame Ashley, Lady of the Lake, from Mayfield Heights, Ohio. John Aiken, Babson Park, Florida, with a 6969. Timothy Lipton from Eden, Utah. Happy birthday. Happy Friday, gentlemen. Thank you for your service. And happy birthday to you, John. North Logan, Utah, is where Sir Sidereel, I can't remember. Sir Sidereel, probably. Happy birthday, John, from your blind knight, Sir Vincenzo, who's in Brooklyn. David Hominy, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Feliz Natilas, John, at Multos Anos. And we wind it up with a semi-birthday donation, not 6969, but 69, from Leiden, the Netherlands, Rob Thijssen. Happy birthday, John. Best regards from Gitmo Nation, Lowlands. And those are the birthday wishes, the 69 for your 69th trip around the sun.
Well, thanks to everybody who with his well wishes, and also the earlier ones that were combined of various numbers.
You are loved. You are loved. Take that in.
I'm loved.
Take it in.
I'm taking it in. But before I do take it in completely, let's continue with the thank yous, starting with Brian Furley in Littleton, Colorado, 5510, and Matthew Dropko in Delaware, Ohio. And he says happy birthday, 5069. Mark DeSantis related to the governor?
Who knows?
5033s in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Claycamp in Dacula, Georgia. Not be confused with Dracula, Georgia. 5021. And the following people are $50 donors, name and location where applicable. Starting with James Sharametta in Napanock, New York. Loretta Vandenberg in Provençal, Louisiana. Dan Scalise in Vernon, Connecticut. Andrew Oxenham in Knoxville, Tennessee. David Beach in San Antonio, Texas. Sir Matthew Januszewski in Chicago, 50. Dame Knight in Edmonds, Washington. Sir Brett Farrell in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And Sir Brian Watson in Raleigh, North Carolina. I want to thank everybody on this list, especially for the well-wishing and also for the contributions that made this show possible. Show 1335.
Yes, everyone under 50, you're on the subscriptions. You are very much appreciated. These are sustaining donations, so we really want to thank you for that as well. And as John said, our execs, our associate execs, all the producers who made this a wonderful birthday show and a wonderful episode, 1335. You produce it. It's value for value. Whatever you do, whatever you bring back to us, make sure it's meaningful to you, and then you've succeeded in your mission. And please consider us for the next show, which are going to be some fantastic specials.
Dvorak.org/NA.
As requested.
Jobs.
And jobs. You've got karma.
It's a birthday. Oh, no agenda.
Here's your list for the 4th of April, 2021. Dana Brunetti says happy birthday to Alex Bijan Brunetti, who celebrates 33 or celebrated yesterday. Congratulations. Donald DeHart, 46 yesterday. Rain turns 26 today. And we got a wonderful report and donation from her. Zachariah Chubb, happy birthday to his daughter America, who turns 2 tomorrow. Harvey Smith will be 64 tomorrow. Nicole Jackson congratulates her husband, James Jackson, hot, sexy, and sweaty, 35 on the 7th. Todd Strobel, 58 on April 9th. Jean Leclerc, Sequidjibu, 40 on April 10th. A dude named Ben named Mike will be 50 on April 20th. And Sir Felix and Sir Chris, the Drunken Minstrel, says happy birthday to Dame Kylie the Keeper. Good to hear from you guys. Mark Pugner celebrates, but we knew that. Mark Hansen says happy birthday to Micah, turning 16 on April 6th. And Kayla, 28th on April 8th. And Lily will be 5 on April 12th. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah. Title changes. Turn and face the slate. Title changes. Don't want to be a douchebag.
That's right. Sir Herb Lamb has upgraded, and he has been donating for a long time. I don't even know if this is the proper level for him, but it's what he requested. He's now a Duke. He becomes Sir Herb Lamb, Duke of the Deep South, and we thank him for support. An additional $1,000 to the best podcast in the universe. And then we have our, we have a Black Knighting today, which is always exciting. We have 3 in total, so let us get some bladage. I got mine here. There you go.
There you go.
Ooh, okay, got it. Anonymous, Combat Rock of the Idaho Highlands, and Donald DeHart. Step on up, gentlemen, all 3 of you. I'm presuming Anonymous is a sir. All 3 of you are very welcome here at the round table, the No Agenda Knights and Dames. You deserve it because you have supported us in the amount of $1,000. That brings you to knighthood, meaning that I am very proud to pronounce all of you as the following titles. As Sir Combat Rock of the Idaho Highlands, Sir Don of Heart, and Sir Gold Plate Black Knight. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys and Chardonnay, Glenfiddich, Haggis, and a dram of the finest smoked single malt from the island of Islay-Lagavulin. 16, please. Yeah, and we got some mutton and mead. We actually have some real mutton and mead coming up in an end of show mix. Gentlemen, please go to noagendanation.com/rings. Eric DeShill will gladly help you out. We'll make sure that you, I think we even get some cool producer back in. We're going to get you into stuff like that. But in this case, the ring, the sealing wax, and your certificate of authenticity. And thank you all for supporting the No Agenda show.
No Agenda. Yeah.
meetups taking place around Gitmo Nation. It is global. You can go to noagendameetups.com, find out exactly where the meetups are taking place. You can start one yourself. It's a free service of the No Agenda Show. It's really, you're doing it. Again, you're the producers. Everyone puts this stuff together. And on Tuesday, so nothing on Monday. Tuesday, the North Central Indiana protest against tyranny. That will be at Mad Anthony's Tap House. That's Warsaw, Indiana. On Thursday, even though there will be a best of the global warming special, so there's a show, but still we've got meetups on Thursday. The State Line Mask-Friendly Meetup. That's in Clinton, Wisconsin. Boxcars Pub and Grub. New entry for Thursday, Denver's bi-weekly Whining at the Winery, 6:30 at Water's Edge Winery and Bistro. On Friday, La Noche en Palma de Mallorca, World Tour 33. This is in Hotel Rui Concordia Pool Bar in Playa de Palma, Spain. Alex is who you want to look out for. More details at noagendameetups.com. On Saturday, the Drunk Bastards third meetup, Splendor and Freedom, 12:30. It's at Grants Pass in Oregon. It's the Weekend Beer Company. The Tiny Amigos of Anchorage assemble at 4 p.m. Alaska time on Saturday at Bear Paw and Grill. In Michigan, the local One Roller Derby Club will be roller derbying, and you need to RSVP for the private link location. Lisa is organizing that 4 o'clock, as I said, on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Philly area, Take the Douchebags Bowling, 5 o'clock, Wynwood Lanes in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, and that is the Union Local 76. I think I would love to do that here in Austin. We should all go bowling. That'd be a good idea. Sunday, April 11th, Sunny's road trip, Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, yeah, Sunny is going around the country, if you recall, and doing meetups. She's doing, I think, a 6-week trip around the country, doing a classic American road trip, and we'll be ready to meet everybody on Sunday in Charleston, South Carolina at the Bay Street Beer Garden, and that is Dame Jennifer who is organizing that one, so you know that is quality. Monday, the 12th of April, Exiled Yankees Floribama meetup, 6:30 in Margaritaville and Panama City Beach, Florida. On Wednesday next week, Nashville Vax Pass Vax Pact. That's Smoking Thighs at 6 o'clock. Sounds like fun. Hollywood, Florida, the Tipsy Boar will host you at 6:30 on Wednesday. And then we have next Thursday, the 15th. Oh, my goodness, we'll almost be back by then. Charlotte's Thirsty Third Thursday monthly meetup, 7 o'clock, Ed's Tavern, and Kevin will be organizing for you. There's a lot more. It goes around the world. It goes all the way through June that's listed. Please have a look at noagendameetups.com. If you can't find anything near you, start one yourself. It's easy. noagendameetups.com. It's like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered on hell to flame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Yeah,
I should mention we got a card from the Dayton Love and Light Amygdala Management Conference.
Oh, was it nice? Was it a nice card?
Yeah. It's cheers from Dayton Beer, and the Dayton producers offer you a card in lieu of a standard meetup report.
Oh.
21 souls gathered on the brewery patio and enjoyed an unmasked bubble of sanity. Only the best podcast in the universe can bring together such. And he sent a picture. There's also, I need a shout out to Rebecca. And it's Cincinnati, and there's also some local ones that showed up.
Oh.
And there's a photo of a bunch of people, like 21 people that are all a handsome group. Thank them for meeting up. The card, they punched out a special card with a bunch of coronavirus stencils and "Stay safe" on the front, of course, just to
to mess with you. You know, everyone's just doing that to make you say that one thing.
I know. Keep it up.
Hey, was it the Fun Fact Friday that was the dad and the daughter, David and Layla?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, that's coming up next on No Agenda Stream. That's cool.
Oh, we're putting them on.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, we don't mess around.
It's a cute
baby.
show. It's a cute podcast.
No, we don't mess around. That's noagendastream.com. Do you have, I do have just something just to keep up with the time so we don't forget. I don't know, corruption, collusion, Chinese influence in the United States government and the White House. I don't know. Maybe we listen to a quick 22-second tease of Hunter Biden on CBS.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know this
I
is
really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is
you don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
Don't you just love it?
What a liar.
And he looks like he aged 20 years. He really looks haggard. And what a lying piece of crap. And they just sit there and just, really?
Oh, yeah, the media is just disgusting. They're ruining the country. Or they're trying to. They're not really doing a good job of it.
Yeah. Yep. You got anything?
Yeah, I got the China registration thing where they want to register everybody. You want to play that?
That sounds kind of depressing. Got anything fun?
Oh, okay. Forget it. I'll save that. Yeah, I was going through the clips and I found the not completely finished although it might as well be. But as I was listening to the PBS NewsHour, and we had our two new guys, or the one new guy, Brooks, and this Capehart guy. I found a good old clip of Shields. I kind of miss him. This is an old Shield clip.
Okay. Here we go.
It's just what the kind of the Democrats, the Democrats better say they better willy nilly. There they are.
One thing I can never accuse you of is that you didn't get that clip yourself, because we know you watched that. When is that on? Is that on an actual TV channel, or is that this Brooks Shields?
PBS NewsHour? Of course, it's on all the PBS stations.
Podcast. It's a damn podcast, man. It's that woman who hates white men. Horrible people.
Hate white men.
Hate white men. Yeah, it's the Hate White Men podcast. Well, that'll do it for us. 2 shows. But you will get your regularly scheduled live stream with this first special on Thursday. That will be the global warming special. Then Adam's Stories on Sunday. Regular time, regular stream, regular trolls. And, of course, on the podcast after it airs on noagendastream.com. Coming to you from Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State, Opportunity Zone 33. We're in FEMA region number 6 on the governmental maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
Have a happy birthday, John, and a great break, and I'll see you in a week.
Adios, mofo.
Right. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. Until very soon, adios, mofos! And such.
The new advice en masse came as the nationwide death toll from COVID-19 passed 470,000.
I wanted to say something about this because they spend so much time on this double masking bullcrap, triple masking bullcrap, double masking bullcrap, triple masking bullcrap. I cannot find a single instance of a health professional that people are supposed to trust, any official, anywhere, worldwide. I'm fine with that. In addition to strapping pieces of cloth on your face and tying it up with masking tape like an idiot, here are some other things you can do to strengthen your immunity. They spend so much time on this double masking bullcrap, triple masking bullcrap, double masking bullcrap, triple masking bullcrap. Here are some other things you can do to strengthen your immunity. Never, double masking bullcrap. Double masking bullcrap. Triple it. Not once tell you to exercise, eat the right kinds of foods, vitamin D3. None of that. Never, ever, because they want you to be a sick, infested human that they pump full with their money-making crap.
Well spoken.
I guess I should be flattered. People are coming because I'm the nice guy. That's the reason why it's happening.
Sources confirming to ABC News that the number of children detained at the border has hit a record high.
This morning, the record surge in unaccompanied migrant children at the southern border is overwhelming government facilities, leaving almost all the beds taken. But the White House continues to say it is not a crisis.
I don't think we need to sit here and put new labels on what we have already conveyed is challenging.
Guatemalan police broke up a caravan of thousands of people from Honduras who were trying to get to the US, but they hadn't made it far. Security forces stopped them on Saturday, saying they needed COVID tests and papers to pass.
Yet despite promising transparency, officials have not allowed journalists in to see the conditions themselves.
The U.S. is the largest cocaine consumer in the world. And to get to the U.S., most of that cocaine has to travel this way, through Central America and Mexico. With that comes violence, and today Guatemala and Honduras are some of the most violent places in the world.
So what we're doing now is attempting to rebuild the system that can accommodate what is happening today. And I'd like to think it's because I'm a nice guy, but it's not.
Everybody like mutton. Everybody like mutton. Drilled you like my mutton. Like my mutton. Drilled you like my mutton.
Got nothing on this mutton. Nothing on this. Nothing on this mutton. Nothing on this. Nothing on this mutton.
Everybody like my mutton. My mutton. My mutton. My mutton.
Mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Excuse me.